It'll be fine to overcook, and then I can just disappear for a second while I grab it and then come back.
All
You
right.
need wireless headphones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Actually,
last we left our adventure, our group had just barely escaped out of a crumbling tower of Valthanaz after scaling to the top and finding a twisted, insane, powerful creature up there that seemed to think itself the ruler of its realm and that all that passed through there were its right to consume.
we showed it.
Did we catch his name?
Oh yeah, did anyone like recognize it or anything? I didn't think of that. If we could.
You killed him
anyone
too
entered,
fast.
Yeah.
If you guys want to make Arcana checks.
Yes, I didn't even get it. Arcana.
I'm holding a D20 and I was gonna roll it, but then I was like, oh, I've got my.
I'm slightly good at Arcana.
Forgot how to.
Actually, I shouldn't be good at Arcana.
Yeah.
I mean, you're skilled in it, but you're not the brightest bulb.
Yeah, there you go.
So, the Bonner, you remember hearing like tavern stories about these certain creatures, as well as a Cathod, just sort of with your family history and sort of inclination towards magic. You've heard more about the arcane and things. That you believe that you've heard of such creatures called Nothics, which are wizards that went insane seeking forbidden knowledge, and over years and years twisted into those creatures that you fought. One that was a normal-sized one in the bottom of the Red Brand's hideout, and then this one, which was much larger, much more powerful, at the top of the Tower of Balthanaz. So they were at one point humanoid wizards and were twisted over time. So fill in whatever conclusions you'd like.
Sounds nasty.
I shall call him Bob.
Bob.
Bobby!
Or you could call him Balthanaz if you wanted.
No, Bobby.
Bob for
What's that, honey?
short.
Bobby Hall. Yep. Alright. So you guys, at the top
he was
of...
Balthanaz.
Does Selena know she's muted? Or, maybe I have her muted.
I think, yeah, everybody's good to go on TeamSpeak as far as I can see.
Oh, okay. I had her muted from the other night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so at the top of the tower, you also found a small shard that seemed to resonate with Cathod's crystal and even connected to it. Salazar identified it as what he called a catalyst shard. And soon after the fusing of the crystals, whatever magics were powering the pocket dimension that this tower was in started to collapse, and the group rushed out, were able to bust back into the material world, thanks to Cathod and some intimidation help from Elrine to encourage him. And
Forgot about him.
yeah, you guys rushed out of the crumbling tower to see the rest of it appear from that pocket plane and smash into the ground. And then
I took 5 damage.
yes, and then a raven flew away.
I could have set my
And that is
familiar
where you
after.
find yourselves. You find yourselves standing before the crushed remains of the tower on top of the old ruins of its base in the middle of the forest. There's sort of an initial hush after the crash of the tower collapsing. Sort of the sounds of nature have resumed, and it's you guys headed out in the morning. It was like a 2-hour walk. You were in there for a couple hours. I'd say it's like 2 in the afternoon by now.
I turn to Salazar as we're all kind of like panting, running out of the tower, like right after, and I'm like, and that is why you don't poke a wizard's thing.
Well
I
phrased.
stare at him
And I
flat.
go into a long ranting thing about how I had said that right before, how we shouldn't have poked anything.
I just stare at him flatly.
So Allright's there, sort of, sternly berating Salazar, and Salazar's just, expressionless, just
I don't
staring
even
at him.
notice him. What he's looking like. I'm too caught up in my spiel.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately turn towards Cathod, ignoring his rant, and look at Cathod and say, "You should give me the crystal."
I ignore him.
You're wearing a catalyst.
Well, good for me.
You could die.
I'm pretty sure I've had a similar thing for a lot longer than you.
Are you sure about that?
I'm willing to bet on it.
Very well. Let's hope nothing taints you.
We'll find out.
I throw a pine cone at the lizard.
Oh, actually, we're back.
What did he say?
He throws a pine cone at you.
I just kind of look at him, like, judgingly.
Go ahead, Greg.
Bonner kind of comes up and panting says, "I don't know about you guys, but I could really use a rest right now."
Me too.
Alright. You
As
guys want
I.
to take a short rest right here, or what would you like to do? You know, it's about a 2-hour walk back to Phandalin.
Yeah, let's take a.
Could we make it back to Phandalin?
About 2 in
would
the
that be-
afternoon.
I don't know. We already walked this path, right? We're just trekking back the way we came.
Yeah, that Elrond would easily be able to retrace your steps.
I feel like the path should be safe. We had already traveled it. Maybe
Yeah,
we
we
go
already
back.
kind of know it.
Do we need a short? Does anybody need a short rest?
Yeah, that's what I'm
or-
talking about.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Short rest is fine.
Okay. So you guys sort of, take a moment, find, some logs and whatever to sit on to sort of catch your breath and patch up some of the wounds you have, bruises and cuts and scrapes from the collapsing tower, as well as, various
Right
magical
before we
injuries.
take a short rest,
Mhm.
I'm going to use. I have 4 superiority dice. I'm going to use all 4 to give. Because I found out I was reading the rally, the temporary hit points. Temporary hit points don't go away after a short rest. It's only after a long rest.
Unless they say otherwise. Yeah.
Unless they say otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, there's other ones that are like a special condition that you
Like,
get 'em.
So,
Greg, you have all your dice? We were just in like a huge fight. Why aren't you using your dice, man? You should really use those in a fight to get the
You
best
know,
value out
That's
of
a great question.
He
Well,
was,
I
he
second
was a
that.
little out of his
we
mind.
didn't need them.
it. Oh, okay.
He was kind of killing us.
Okay.
No, he was killing me.
so, one for Thonar. So Thonar, you get 5 temporary hit points. 1 for Cathod. So you get
Oh, I don't-
7.
I,
1 for Salazar. You get 9. And 1 for Selena. You get 7. Wait,
Gretchen,
did I
you know how
click
to do
that
that?
too many times or?
You did, but you had 9 twice, so we'll just say that was the same roll.
Okay.
Gretchen, do
Wait.
you know how to put in temporary hit points?
No.
No. Okay, on your character sheet next to your I can.
Why don't you just do it? You just...
Yeah. Alright, temporary hit points. 7 for Selena.
So, sorry, I just What is this for? What just happened?
You got temporary hit points.
Yeah, you guys decided to take sort of a short rest, and before that, Bonner sort of is like your hype man. Like, guys, we got this. We just busted into that tower. We busted out, and he sort of is encouraging you guys. You can sort of like, yeah, and that sort of boosts your spirits a bit, and you sort of feel a little more bolstered by it.
I'm
Wait,
gonna.
so-
Except
Which-
me.
Which one?
Yes.
Who
That's
Yeah,
why
it's definitely
I'm not
except
feeling
you.
it.
I'm gonna say thanks for helping with our wounds a little bit that you made. Under my breath.
I got the wounds.
Let's see.
I can take that back if you want.
Um,
That
Greg,
was
did
under
you
my
give-
breath. You didn't hear me.
Greg, did you give Nate any of those? He's wondering because he wasn't at his
Yes.
desk. You got.
He was the
got-
first one I rolled, so
Oh,
he got
okay,
5.
so you get 5.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Sorry, I touched a 450-degree coil, so
Ow.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Ow.
yeah.
Ow.
Second
Oh.
degree.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty.
that's no fun.
Yeah, don't
Owie.
don't do that.
We'll try and distract you. Alright. So you guys take a short rest. You sort of listen to the sounds of the wood, patch your wounds. You can roll any remaining hit dice that you have if you so desire.
Well, now that I have over max health, can I have over max health like with temporary HP?
With temporary hit points, there's a spot in the character sheet for temp HP.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you can put that there. So yeah, that it would give you over max.
Sweet.
Battery's about to die.
I thought I plugged it in.
Did it? It's not sure.
Curses.
Regain sorcery points. Oh, do I gain charges on my glass staff?
That's
Or
at the
short rest?
end of the long rest.
Okay.
So yeah, that Cathod, you'd get 2 sorcery points for the short rest. Of
Yeah.
course, Salazar gets all his key. Yeah. Okay, that would explain why it wasn't charging.
Let us go to Fendelin.
Alright, as you're taking a short rest, Elrine, make a perception check.
Andrea, did you actually add your health?
Okay.
That you rolled?
No. I mean, yes, I added my hit die, but for the temporary, no.
User
Okay.
in your channel timed out.
As well as, keep in mind, you can roll as many hit die as you have left. You don't just roll 1 for a short rest, you can keep rolling as many as you want. Alright. So, yeah, that, Elrond, you sort of are relaxing, listening to the sounds of the woods, and, nothing seems to be amiss. Like, there's no, sounds of the unnatural or out of the ordinary that, you can sort of surmise. There doesn't seem to be any of the undead that seem to have congregated don't seem to be wandering anywhere nearby, or at least you don't hear any sound of that.
It's good. It's good.
Alright. You sort of have patched yourselves up.
User entered
And,
your channel.
You said you want to head to Phandalin?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so you guys start trekking back through the woods. It's sort of easy to see where your trail was. Elrond's leading the way, so it's super easy. He doesn't really even need to make much effort to track it, because you guys weren't moving stealthily, you're just sort of moving along the path, sort of looking as you went. And Cathod, tries to step a little carefully. Cathod, you're proud you managed to catch yourself before you were about to step on some very loud, snappy twigs. So
Yeah.
you catch yourself like 2 or 3 times and stop
Sneaky
from doing
snake.
that. Yep. And so you guys,
Can
travel
I
through. Go ahead.
can I send my familiar like up ahead a little bit? Just kind of scout, give me an inclination if there might be something up ahead.
Oh, absolutely. And as long as you're within 1 mile of your familiar, you can communicate telepathically.
Okay. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And of
we'll do
course, your familiar doesn't speak language, but can sort of
Yeah,
communicate
give me an
basic
inclination.
ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
so like
emotions and whatever
danger,
feelings.
basic imagery. You can sort of ask questions of it, you can sort of respond, but it's not gonna, have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And so you get a sense from your familiar, it's very happy to be in a forest and to be able to fly freely, and it's kind of elated to be able to fly around. And so you sort of send it up ahead, but rather than just sort of like flying up a little and sitting on a branch, fly up on a branch, it's like hopping from place to place, swooping up and down, making little loops. It's very happy to be free and flying around. And it sort of reports back to you, yeah, it's a beautiful forest, it's gorgeous day, there's nothing amiss. And so that's what it's communicating to you. Cool. And so after about 2 hours hiking through the woods, you guys get a little dirt and mud on your boots as you're walking through, but eventually you see sort of Fenlin in the distance across the field that you're sort of emerging from the notorious place where the undead were seen on the edge of town.
We made it.
You made it.
We
Alright.
done did it.
Alright, the end. Good night, guys.
I was just gonna say that.
And the campaign, whenever you're rolling new people, that's pretty much the whole campaign, right?
Yep. You guys
Yeah.
are approaching the town from the south.
From
Do
the
you-
south.
This is why we need a bard with a trumpet so he can announce our presence.
Ooh, I just thought
Uh,
if I get enlarge, reduce, can I use that on my familiar?
you could, if you wanted to relearn enlarge reduce.
Yeah, I would. I don't think I'm going to. I was just thinking that would be cool to have a giant dragon.
Well, it would turn into a small dragon, because technically the familiar is sized tiny.
Teddy.
So
Oh,
it's like the size of a cat. You turn it in the size of a dog.
nah,
Woo!
not worth.
A big
So,
dog.
so if you get at later levels, you can polymorph it,
Ooh,
but you couldn't
I-
technically turn it into another dragon because that's now on the polymorph list.
nah. I like my small white dragon.
Mini me.
Not just my scales.
Great that it just so happened that fate gave you a pseudo dragon that matches your scale.
I know. How coincidence? How
Wow, that's
coincidental.
crazy.
It's amazing.
How
Right.
serendipitous.
Extremely thankful.
So you guys see the town ahead that nothing seems to be amiss. It's just sort of you can in the distance see people going about their day. That you can sort of hear over the wind the sounds of some music playing. You surmise that the gypsies are still in town and sort of making merry. And yeah, what would you like to do?
I look at Thoner and say, what do you say we go grab a pint at the Stonehill?
I say a pint. I'm feeling 5 pints.
Now you're talking. And so
That's like a
we'll,
salad and a bit.
I'm a dwarf. What do you expect, huh?
Where do you put it all?
you don't understand. See, dwarves are different. Their anatomy makes it so when they're not drunk, they suck at everything they try to do.
That is not true.
They absorb all the water in their body, but it all comes from alcohol.
It is 100% true. I studied anatomy. This is Bonner speaking. This is 100% true. I studied anatomy in dwarf school.
Dwarf school.
Yes.
Dwarves don't go to school.
And I studied alcohol in dwarf school.
Actually, very believable.
I have high doubts if there is such a thing as dwarf school.
You make a convincing argument there, Bonner, that some of the group aren't quite sure if you're bluffing, if you are stupid, or if you actually did that.
I don't question it at all.
He hallucinated the whole thing in a drunken stupor.
Anyway, I head towards the Stonehill Inn.
Okay. So, you head there, and people in town sort of greet you and say hello, and a giant crushes. You get there. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That you can see that there's the Stonehill owner. I forget his name, but he is there with his staff, sort of getting things ready for the dinner meal that's coming up. That you ask for a round, and he's like, oh, absolutely. That and he sort of pours you the ale, and you guys sort of get there, and you see Sildar sort of sitting there. He's got some papers that he's going through, and says, "Ah, you guys are back. How'd it go? Any more undead?"
I say,
Yeah.
I kind of hold up a finger to him, and I look to see if there's anyone at the bar, like behind the counter.
There's nobody at the bar, but there are other staff in the room. There's like the owner and the waitress. They're not currently behind the bar, but they are present.
Okay, when I see where they are, I'll go ahead and join Sildar, and when I catch the waitresses, I'll flag her down to let her know I want to order something.
Yeah, I had said that the inn's owner had seen you guys come in and gladly poured you each a round,
Okay.
and handed that to you, and the only other patron in there was Sildar, who seems that there's sort of a plate with some crumbs and some leftovers, and he had a meal at some point many hours ago, but he's just sort of sitting there going through some papers and such.
Wait, so the owner asked or Sildar asked?
The owner provided you with drinks. And
Who was it? Who was asking about the undead? Sorry.
Sildar.
Sildar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because he's sort of like, that's what you guys headed off to sort of investigate, and now he's returned and he's curious. He's like,
Okay.
You find anything?
So then I hold up, and then I just take like the biggest swig that I just down the whole thing, and I just slam my mug down. And I say, and I lean and I say, "Have you heard of Nothix?"
He sort of looks at you funny. He's like, can't say that I have.
Crazy wizard folk.
Is that what was creating the undead? Do we have a rogue wizard?
That we don't know, but we killed it.
Okay. You killed a man?
It wasn't a man anymore.
Harbin Wester was his name, I'm pretty sure. I'll take a round with them as well. Please be clear with me. You guys left town, seeing if you could find some more undead or the source of it, sort of to take
we
care of
found
that.
a lot of them, that for sure, and we killed whatever we found.
That you made them dead again.
Yes,
You made them stop
the
moving.
undead. Did you
re-dead,
find...
if you will.
Yes, they're re-deaded.
Ew.
Did you find the source of them? Was there like a grave that had come to life or something?
So about
There-
that.
There was a magic door. I don't know if they came from there.
A magic door?
It led to a purple dimension.
Wait. Are you saying that there were undead that were summoned through a portal? What was this connection to the Shadowfell?
I don't know.
And
It was the crystal's fault.
Cathod, general lore, you would know the Shadowfell is sort of, if any of you've seen Stranger Things, it's the Upside Down, but it's like necromancy incarnate and like undeath incarnate and like full of dread and terror and horror, and that's where like
Is it
was
it
not the
another
Shadowfell.
plane?
It's another plane of existence.
Okay.
Yes.
It's technically a mirror universe.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where like all sorts of sources of nasty things that exist. Yeah, you guys did not go to the Shadow
Well, that's
Fell.
one looking glass I don't want to go through.
And so there's like, is there a threat? Is there a portal that's letting things into our world? Are undead funneling here? He's
Well,
sort of like,
if
two
it
sides
was
to
the
that
portal-
coin. One, the portal is destroyed. We don't have to worry about the portal anymore.
Okay.
But other side of that coin, we don't have really any evidence that the undead came through that portal. There was also some other strange stuff that we found. These rocks that looked like fiery rocks with some kind of tarry ooze in them. And we think that the undead may have been in these rocks. We don't know for sure though.
I stare at Bonner blankly. That is not something we discussed.
Is it
But-
not?
Is it?
Good
Were we
thing it
considering
wasn't there.
I'm gonna say we also found this little guy.
And Sildar goes, oh, a pseudo dragon. They're quite rare. That I don't think I've seen another pseudo dragon outside of the Citadel in Averin. That's been many centuries since they were around.
They seem to have taken a liking to me.
Like that's well, very glad for you. That quite interesting. That I mean, pseudo dragons are seen occasionally, very rarely. But dragons themselves haven't been in the world for upward of 2,000 years.
Yeah, whatever the wizard was, or being that it became, had a number of familiars and animals up in his lab, but
Wait,
in that
wait.
other dimension.
Where was this portal?
was in a tower that there was no rubble before we went in, but when we came out, there was rocks everywhere.
So you're saying you went to the ruins and found a portal within the ruins to
Yeah.
a tower.
And then we destroyed it.
Pretty much what we do best.
You see that both Harbin and the barmaid have stopped what they're doing and sort of
Oh.
just standing and listening like raptly, like this is fascinating to them. And then Harbin sort of sees you, that you caught his glance. He's like, oh, the ruins down by the out in the forest. That it was just sort of some stuff. Oh, honey. Aw, cute. That it's no more than just like a battered shelter where some hunters get out of the rain. There's no tower there. Then Sildar is sort of like processing for a moment. He's like, you said this led to another plane and that the rest of the tower was there?
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat that now because it's crunchy. Yeah, but you can have some if you like. Tell me, did it seem old?
Very.
Very. There's layers of dust over everything.
Interesting.
I killed a carpet.
Right. And he takes a sip. It's like,
Don't forget about the swords and shields and armor.
that I take it some strange things went down in the wizard's tower in the alternate dimension. That I'm glad you got out okay. That
we found the journal too.
Oh.
really.
Did we keep that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yep. You got it. That's sort of crumbly, but more or less intact from one of the passages that you read. That I take it do you want to relay the information you found in the journal?
Yeah.
Okay. So you sort of take it a bit and sort of share what you gleaned out of it, and sort of is like, well, I'll be that till now that it was just sort of myths and legends. It seems like you guys stumbled into a remnant of the Elder Days. That it was just sort of mythology that was to explain some of the things in the world, but it seems like that there actually was an incursion and a war, and that's what sealed away a lot of the magic in the world. And that you guys sort of would know, this is now world building. The DM will now give you a little bit of exposition that your characters would know, that there was sort of this mythology that about 2,000 years ago there was this this war, this epic war, where there was some incursion into the world by these monsters, and that were trying to come in through and take things over. But they were ultimately, and this is like mythology, like you tell kids these stories to entertain them. It wasn't expected to be real. But there were these monsters that were attacking, and that the powers that exist in the world to fend them off took a lot of the magic that exists in the world and sealed it away, and in doing so sealed the monsters off from their way in, and were able to defeat them, but it has also locked away a lot of the magic in the world. That's why dragons haven't been seen. That's why a lot of sort of the more fantastical entities haven't been in this world for a long while. So that's sort of some backstory. You know that the monsters had sort of come out of the west. That you guys are pretty far east and on a different continent than where a lot of this happened. But you sort of know about it. That as you start telling them about that so there's again, and it seems like you found a remnant of that time. That here in the journal it talks about he was surrounded by the monsters. He talks about the war, and I think whoever this Balthanaz was sealed himself in the tower and couldn't get out, and had been there for 2,000 years, thinking that he was besieged by these monsters. I mean, apparently, whatever it was, that the world survived and moved on, but he's been out of step, or was. He didn't seem like too friendly a fellow from the way you guys described him.
Not quite.
I think the thing we encountered is probably not much is left of the original person, or what's left,
2,000 years is rough on the body.
and the mind.
True.
Probably more so on the mind.
That as you're sort of having this conversation, that there's a sort of a knock on the doorpost of the door, and standing in the doorway is the sentry that had greeted you guys at the entrance of town when you had come back from Wave Echo Cave. And he's like, Sildar and the rest of you returned great. But Sildar particularly, there's some gentlemen that are here to see you. They're from the Lord's Alliance, they say. Quite, fancy looking folks. And so Sildar's like, okay, and he comes out, and he exits out of the Stonehill, and there in the center of town, you can sort of see the gypsies in the background. There's not a performance going on, but there's always a little bit of music and merriment going on. And you see out in the center of town 5 men. 3 of them are on horses and in full plate armor, and 2 of them are driving a reinforced carriage that has barred windows on it. And one of the men, his armor is a bit more gilded than the others, and on the center of the breastplate is emblazoned a griffin. And he sort of dismounts and walks up to Sildar and says, Sir Vincent Greymount, I believe. Sildar? And Sildar says, yes, sir, that I'm Sildar Hallwinter. It's like, I believe you have a prisoner that we are to transport. Sildar says, I'm glad you made it. That, Iarno's in the Townmaster's Hall. He's been locked up. That, we sort of, it was a slippery one at first, but we got him locked away and kept him from using any of his magics to get out. I hope you have a way of restraining him. That the man, Vincent, nods to the 2 men on the carriage that you recognize are spellcasters of some sort. He's like, they'll be able to restrain him. and so Sildar's like, okay, well, then we've got some business to take care of, and so that yeah, Sildar leads them to the townmaster's hall. That the three men tie up their horses there, and that there's the two sort of park the carriage. One of the mages stays with the carriage, and Sildar and the other three enter into the townmaster's hall. Would you guys like to follow?
Are we
Yeah.
Actually, Sildar motions to you. He's like, you guys, just in case, help me out here. And Sildar sort of mentions that these folks are the ones that I had mentioned that helped with all the trouble that's been around here. I mean, it's been a little more than one man can handle. And Vincent says, I'm sure. So you get into the back room, and there's the two prison cells. One of them currently empty that had housed Bleak. Bleak is not there anymore. That if you remember that there were some woodsmen who were going to make contact with the Brown-Tooth village and took Bleak along, sort of to let them take care of him and exact whatever goblin justice or whatever they wanted to do. And then there's the other cell, has a black curtain across the front of it. And Sildar says, Iarno, it's time to head out. And you hear sort of a groan from in the prison. He's like, come to take me back, have you? And Sildar says, not me. And he pulls the curtain away, and he sees the Lord's Alliance contingent there, decked out. There's the mage, the three knights, and Iarno's like, it's come to this then, hasn't it? And so Sildar takes out a key, unlocks the door, and mage goes in and pulls out from his pack what looks like a mix of a blindfold and a gag. And Sildar says, are you going to come willingly? And Iarno says, I don't have much choice, do I? And the mage puts the blindfold and the gag on him so he can neither see nor really speak well, thus very much incapacitating a spellcaster. And so they sort of shackle him up, put this thing on him, and lead him out. And they put him in the... Actually, okay, retcon a little. That they fix him with the blindfold and the gag, but then they lock him back in the cell. And that Vincent says that, we'll keep him secured for the night, keep him guarded, but we'll probably head out in the morning. It's, too late in the day to get back on the road. And Sildar says, I understand. And so that Sildar says, well, that there's rooms at the Stonehill Inn, and he sort of gives some instructions of where they might want to stay. That Vincent says, yeah, he's going to keep at least one of his men on guard at all hours with Iarno. And Sildar says, well, if that's all there is, sir, then I'll be on my way. And Vincent says, not quite yet there, Sildar. I know that your station is not what it used to be, but you've received orders. And he pulls out a sealed scroll that he hands over to Sildar. He said, this came from Averin around the time of our trip. We were able to bring that. Apparently this has been sealed specifically for you. And he sort of nods down to it. And you see on the seal that, what would the symbol be? It's some sort of arcane mark on it. None of you would recognize it, but apparently that it's something that both of them recognize. And you can tell Vincent is sort of surprised that orders with this mark would have been asked for specifically Sildar. And Sildar seems surprised himself to have received this. And that sort of Sildar cracks it open and reads it. And Huh. That I've got some orders. Looks like I'll be leaving Phandalin soon as well. I know you guys are headed to Neverwinter, but saying this to Vincent, heading to Neverwinter to interrogate and lock Yarno away. That when you get there, notify the barracks I'll accept this mission. And Vincent says, very well. And he leaves one of the knights at the jail cell with Yarno, and sort of goes out with his men, and they sort of go to find food and lodging. And you're sort of there, just in the townmaster's hall with Sildar, and he's looking down at the orders again. This is very peculiar indeed. And it's kind of interesting that.
Did you
I
get a
could use-
promotion?
No, definitely not. But apparently, I still have some use. I might need some help. That he says, do any of you recognize this seal? And none of you do. He says, this has been given by the High Arcanist of Averin himself, Sildiad, has requested me for a mission. That I'm not on rank, at least anymore, with the fine folks that just visited. But I've been given a mission to retrieve something. And apparently it's sensitive, that the Arcanist does not want the Lord's Alliance to be known to be retrieving this item. Thus, sort of the secrecy, and thus why I'm being sent as opposed to the fancy-looking friends out there. That the transport must be done discreetly, which is why the typical Lord's Alliance envoy was not given the job. I've been instructed that any help that I secure may be done at my discretion, but cannot be tied to the Lord's Alliance for the sake of the secrecy. So we can't look like the Lord's Alliance is transporting it, but here's the thing. You're the only ones I really know that. Yes, you will be very much compensated for your time. I just can't look like the Lord's Alliance is making this transaction. Has to be discreet.
Will I be an honorary Lord's Alliance member?
No, that's not for me to give. But if you're willing to help with this, I'm sure that the Lords in Averin would look kindly on this.
This sounds like political maneuvering.
Is there any pay
so much.
involved?
Yes.
I'm your man.
It doesn't say exactly what the compensation should be, but it says to be adequate to the efforts taken to secure this item. And
You say.
We just need to keep
Yes.
track of business expenses.
that we can do. That there's a monastery on the south side of the mountains that we're on the north side of. That sort of we'll have to take the high road on the west coast of the continent, go down through, probably stop at Waterdeep before heading out to the Obari Monastery.
Oh,
Waterdeep.
Yeah, Waterdeep. That's the largest city on this west coast of the northern frontier. That it's because it has a deep water port, water deep, as well as that's what allows trade to go in and out. That Neverwinter is on the coast, but it doesn't really have a harbor like that, so there's not as much ship trade going through there. But yeah, head through Waterdeep, and then we'll head east. That's between the southern side of the Sword Mountains and the Desserin River that flows down through Waterdeep. That apparently there's an item at the monastery that needs transport to the Citadel of Averin.
Any word of what it might be?
It says that it was the masters of the monastery that contacted Averin about the item that it's not disclosed in this order, but says that they will share with us once we get there, if you are so willing. The Obari
kinda-
Monastery. Salazar, you would recognize this. This is that you've heard of the Obari Order. That the fact that he's speaking about the Obari Monastery, it's the only one established in the northern frontier. That's more of from the continent to the west where Avarin is. That it's an order that is sort of focuses on study and reflection and sort of self-reflection and betterment. That they are sort of dedicated to the goddess Ayun, who is the goddess of knowledge, skill, and prophecy. And so they're sort of protectors and gatherers of knowledge. That in that also that they do they are disciplined in what they do. So they would have some ties to sort of physical disciplines and martial arts, but also some spiritual disciplines.
So I say to the group, the Obari Monastery is a split and divided house who cannot make up its mind between its studies and its martial art.
Sildar says that may be, but don't ruffle the Obari's feathers when we're there. They're good folk, a bit bookworms, but still good folk.
They are placid.
I say, it matters not who the job is for as long as the pay is right.
And given that this comes from Arcanus Sildiad himself, that you would recognize the title of Arcanist. That is that when they say the Lord's Alliance, the Arcanist is the title of one of the lords. Whoever holds the essentially the premier head of magic for Avarin is the Arcanist. So the head of all magic wielders in the Lord's Alliance has given this order.
Wow.
And so you would expect that, given that, and that Avarin is quite prosperous, you would be well compensated.
Sounds good to me.
I asked him if we do help him, is he gonna leave at the same time that we do this time, or leave it because we saw how well they worked last time?
No, that we'll be traveling together. That
Okay.
I mean, technically, you would be under my employ, and sort of, taking orders from me. But I mean, you guys know how to handle yourselves. That I'm more or less just going to be the envoy to secure this thing, and you guys can, come along. That I don't know if you've noticed, but things have been going a little wonky in the world the past couple years or so. That whether it's the wild's getting more wild,
a bit drafty.
The wild's getting a bit more wild, and sort of bandits getting stirred up more often and more crazily than usual. That I'm not expecting too much trouble, but there's always difficulty in travel nowadays. So that if you'd be so willing, that I'd appreciate the company. I don't want a repeat of what happened to me in Gundren last time.
I'm in.
All right. So I think you guys seem to have had quite a few scraps for the day. How about we get a good evening meal, good rest. We can head out in the morning. I mean, Thanlin seems to be in good order. Gundren hired half the miners in town, and they've headed back out to Wave Echo Cave to start excavating. Though that now there's rumors of that gold and jewels will flow through his city like water. That probably not quite that much, but it looks like some good prospects.
Is that water deep?
Prospects.
Good one. Not here, not yet. it'll be a while before I assume they've got their operation fully up and going. But and it's sort of put a skip in the step of everybody in town.
That's good news. Good to hear.
All right.
I'm
So,
gonna
Choo-choo.
go walk out and go visit Lion Shield Coster. That's where the sales woman
Linen.
is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Linen. Yeah. I'm gonna go there and see if I can pick up a few items.
Oh, sure. That Linen's in there. That she's like, oh, Master Cathod, Mr. Dragonborn. How can I help you?
Have you gotten anything special in since we've left, or since you've last seen us?
I'm afraid not. You left this morning, and
You never know who might pass by.
you were here when the caravan passed through and resupplied me. That they were the last ones to give me things. That haven't had anything new since then.
We
I
to
do
go
need to make
Fantasy
a-
Costco.
Fantasy Costco.
I do need to refill a couple things.
Okay.
So I'm gonna buy a bottle of ink
Mhm.
to refill. I'll actually get two because that came in handy.
Yep.
How much do those cost?
I'm gonna say a silver each for
Okay.
a bottle of ink. Bless you. So not too expensive for that. Plus, you even have one of the little vials already, and
Yeah.
so she can just refill that one and get you another one. So
Okay. And I think that's really all I wanted to get.
okay. Anybody else want to sort of grab any supplies or whatever?
I want to ask her. I have these fancy robes. I have 3 sets of fancy robes, that I acquired. I want to see if she is interested in purchasing them.
Can you remind the DM where you got those fancy robes?
DM, where did I get those fancy robes?
So Wave Echo Cave.
It was either Wave Echo Cave or in the, would I have found them in the tower
Okay.
anywhere?
Um,
I think it was Wave Echo Cave in that small room with the boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they're fine quality fabrics and such, and they're nice and made. They're a little musty, but she'll give you 5 gold apiece.
Sold.
Okay.
What if we need to attend a nice dinner?
Straight out of luck.
We can go buy nice robes that aren't musty.
Yeah, for 5 gold, you'd be able to find yourselves fresh robes that would be pretty nice.
These are artisan. Old school.
Yeah, they are quite of a style that has not been seen in the world for quite a while. But robes are sort of robes.
Are there any healing potions?
No, those would have been with the caravan. That not much call for them here, but they headed out. Let's see, it would have been 2 days ago to Waterdeep. They were doing trade from the lands in the east, where Salazar you're from, and bringing trades and goods to sell in Waterdeep.
I kind of pull Linen over to the side and I say, I got something that I don't want the others to know I have, and I'm selling it. And I kind of
Okay.
pull out of my bag a rusty spoon and a rusty fork, and I ask her how much she'll pay me for it.
He sort of looks at you funny and says, "Good joke." That as you can see, I kind of have plenty, and she sort of points to a shelf and where there's, sort of boxes that have cutlery in them already. I think I'm all set.
Oh, well, in that case, how much is it for a normal spoon?
For a single spoon,
A single spoon.
I'd say a silver. I mean, if you want the whole set, it's 1 gold, and you have, there's
You don't need that. Yeah, and I say you don't need the whole set, and I grab the spoon. And he's like, "Well, just take this," and I pull out Bloodstep, and I take his spoon, and I just bash it against the blade of Bloodstep and make a spork, and then I hand it to Thonar.
Alright.
Linen is sort of flabbergasted that you're pulling out a weapon and then breaking some of her own goods that you haven't quite paid for yet in her store.
I slap a gold on the counter.
Much appreciated. Is there anything else anybody wants?
Well, if we're given a gold, I'd like a few more sporks.
Here, you can have the set. There's a dozen spoons. Well, 11 plus the one you had in there. It's yours.
What are you gonna do with all these spoons?
Oh, just you wait.
No, I don't want to wait. Let me know. The suspense is killing me.
Alright. I asked my brother if he wanted any of the spoons or the spork.
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take a spoon and I'll make my own spork.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's 12 minus 2. I got 10. 9.
I'm sleeping with my staff tonight.
Gretchen, you wanted one? Can you guys hear Gretchen?
No.
I don't know if you're muted or... Here, let me see.
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
You're good.
Alright, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I guess I did.
I can hear her through roll
Can you
20.
hear
but
her
I
now?
can't hear her on. I can hear her on roll 20, but not TeamSpeak.
Alright.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take
What
this
else
opportunity to
do
grab
I
a quick
want?
snack.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, now the microphone should work.
So?
Yep, that was good.
Okay, now we're good. We IT crowded it. We tried turning it off and on again. Alright, so Selena, who's been very quiet this whole trip, finally speaks up and says, I'll take a spoon.
Alright,
I'll take a spoon.
I pass her a spoon.
Okay. So spoons distributed and sporktified. Anything else anybody wants?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a magnifying glass.
Okay. Are you looking in the player's handbook section there at the
Yeah.
things, or do you need me? Okay. So I don't know how much that costs, but you can sure do
Oh
that.
wow, never mind. It's 100 gold.
Hmm. Getting those lenses ground just right so it works, that's expensive.
Wow. Screw it. I'm gonna buy it.
Oh wow.
Go for it. Alright.
Go hard to go home.
Magnifying glass. Alright. So sort of any other logistics, we don't have to role play out every single transaction if you don't want.
There was something I wanted to get, but I can't remember, and I don't know, so I
Hmm.
think I'm good.
Okay. Alright, so you sort of gather some supplies for the trip. That Harbin offers you your rooms at the inn that you're gonna have to sort of share between a few rooms because the Lord's Alliance members have taken up the other available one. So But
Okay.
we can say that you guys, you will have a meal in the inn. You sort of rest for the night. Rico stops by to say hello and wish you well on your way. You can sort of regale him with a tale of the tower, and he's rapt with attention with that, and he loves it. And says, "I think I will have one of my my friends write a story about that and sing it from town to town. They will love it."
Oh yes, quite good.
So you guys get an evening's rest, and you wake up in the morning with preparations to head out with Sildar to lands unknown. And the DM has just realized he forgot to create a token for Sildar.
When you sleep, do you get all your hit dice back?
You get half of your hit dice back.
So if I use if I had 2, I get
2 back. It rounds down.
Spell slots, I get all of them back, right?
All spell slots back. Yep. Sorcery points back.
So before we take a rest, sorry, I
ahead.
want to cast. It's 2 sorcery points for level 1 spell, right?
You create a level 1 spell slot. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast 3 level 1 spells into my crystal.
Okay, what spells are they?
It'll be magic missile, detect magic, and just another magic missile. So 2
Okay,
magic missile and a detect magic.
All right. Excellent. So keep track of that for your
Yeah.
crystal. You've got those stored in there. That'll be some sort of a note taking to make sure you know what's in there. All right. As well as that if you wanted, you could also cast level 1 spells in a level 2 slot and put them in there. Just
Wait,
your
what?
preference. You can there's a first level
level
spell,
2. Oh,
but you could cast it in a level 2 slot, so it's a higher level of the spell, and then when you
really?
cast it out of the crystal, it'll be at that level. So, for example, if you want to cast a level 2 magic missile into the crystal and store it there,
Okay.
then when you cast it, would
Yeah,
cast a level
I didn't
2
realize
magic
I could
missile.
do that. So I'll do 2 magic missile, 1 level 2 magic missile, and 1 detect magic.
Okay, so 4 slots worth, a level 2 magic missile, a level 1 magic missile, and a detect magic, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Alright.
I did not
To try out the new goodies.
Yeah.
Alright. So, you guys wake up in the morning, and
Feeling like P. Diddy.
like P. Diddy. And you actually are coordinating to sort of head out around the same time that Vincent and his contingent have taken Yarno prisoner and put him in the carriage and on their horses, and they head out. And because they're mounted, they sort of get off ahead of you guys. But you sort of hit the dusty trail. Anything you want to do before you left Phandalin?
I was gonna talk to the sister that I.
Sister Garail?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna tell her what we found out about the tower and where the undead. Not that we know where they came from, but kind of that they're taken care of as far as we know.
Okay, that she sort of takes in the information and is grateful and says that she'll keep a lookout. She never expected that the town was under threat, but it was odd to see undead and that.
Yeah, I kind of tell her that like we did like verify that like there was people aren't like crazy, like there
Mhm.
there was.
Well, she herself had seen
Oh,
at a
did.
distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
verified the
now
spot.
we know she's not crazy.
Yes. All right. So yeah, that you pass that information along, and she's grateful and is glad that whatever it was is taken care of. All right. You hit the dusty trail and you wave goodbye to Phandalin as it fades off into the distance.
Boy, Phandalin.
Smell you later,
Bye.
Phandalin.
I shake the dust from my sandals.
Ah. And a meteor falls on Phandalin and explodes.
What a savage.
No, but you guys do head out, and let's see, you head north to meet up on the Tribor Trail that goes east-west, and that takes you a few hours to get to there, and then you sort of follow the trail west to what's known as the High Road that goes down the west coast of the continent here. and you get to sort of the intersection where the Tribord Trail meets up with the high road. If you were to turn right, you'd head back up to Neverwinter, where our adventure started. But you guys turn left, and you head down south, down along the coast.
The big map?
The big map. And the DM realizes he doesn't have the big map made, but he can get that there pretty quick.
Well, not the made one, the one where all maps in the winter are.
Yeah, the Northern Realms map is there's the high road on it.
Is this a fairly open area that we're trying?
Oh yeah. It's now sort of, rather than the woods and stuff that are sort of to the north and south of Fana and such, that this is sort of open rolling hills. Alright, so I will actually make this thing here.
Looks like VA.
What?
Said with the cornfields, it looks like VA.
Yeah, it would be sort of like Pennsylvania. You guys, you were in Finland here, and you traveled up along the trail, and then headed to west. You sort of passed by the spot where there were the, back in the day, there were the dead horses along the road that, you were ambushed at. Those have been long since cleared away. And you
Far away
guys,
from the shore.
from the shore, about
yeah.
10 miles, because each hex represents about 5 miles.
Okay.
5, 10. It was 10 miles to get to the Tribord Trail. 15, 20, 20. Okay, yeah, so it's right as you sort of get to the high road, that's sort of the sun is cresting down towards sunset.
Do I know anything about the old Owl Well?
The old Owl Well, that it had been, I think it had been mentioned in town, but nothing seriously. It's just sort of, there's sort of some old ruins of long since gone things way over that way.
Okay.
That Connieberry was a town that was sort of a ghost town. This is the DM Maps version of things, but you guys have want to seen everything. You do know that south along the high road, that it passes by the Mirror of Dead Men, which is sort of a fancy. It's not known for being dead or anything. Just people were poetic in naming it. That sort of is this swampy marsh, saltwater marsh, that is between where you are and Waterdeep is south of there.
I roll for superstition.
For superstition, okay. That you've heard some pretty tall tales. Some of those are tall tales, but some of them may not be.
Oh boy.
So
Where's this marsh? I'm
Down at the
lost.
bottom.
okay, very bottom of the map. There's the Mirror of Dead Men.
Oh.
Splish, splish, yes. And so we've got that. And you guys sort of, finish the night, and yeah, you make a. Are you guys able to draw on the board as well?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
apparently.
anybody can draw. We just have never really done that. Yep. So you guys sort of camp for the night there. It passes uneventfully. That then we join the high road in the morning. You can, there's sort of some traffic here. There's trade going through. So you're not the only travelers along the road. That there's some people going north, some people going south. There's more people going south than north though. And you figure that probably because
Is it winter?
no,
It
it's
is.
sort of spring turning into summer.
So they're not going south for the winter.
No, and to the north, you know that there's never winter.
Like ask
Maybe-
a passerby.
Maybe we're in the southern hemisphere.
Nah, you're definitely in the northern hemisphere.
Okay.
Alright, Cathod, what do you want to ask a passerby?
Just ask them by chance why they might be heading north during this season.
Well, trade in Neverwinter. You got buyers there all the time, and it's just sort of a
Okay.
farmer with his goods heading there.
I
And so-
said, I pipe up and say, well, you got buyers in Neverwinter. You got buyers right here. What you got for me?
They sort of pulls his cart, and you see a whole bunch of wool that's been shorn off of some sheep, and just sort of the raw wool that hasn't been spun or anything.
How much
Come
for
on.
a handful?
It's sort of eyes of 2 silver, for a pelt. Well, it's like one sort of roll that's been shorn off a single sheep.
All right. I go through my bag and grab out 2 silver.
Well, thank you.
I'll go get them in Neverwinter.
Thank you, good sir.
Pat him on the back and wave him along.
Right.
I lean
Fare
to
you well.
Bonar, and I say, I think your brother has a spinning problem.
Problem.
All right.
So what was that? What is that thing called? What do I have now? A pelt of.
Just say 1 roll of wool, and keep in mind that I did say you guys slept for the night, so your hit dice would actually be full because you got to where the Tribord Trail met with the high road and camped for the night there, and then you headed south.
I guess I'd have full health,
Nice.
too.
Yeah, so everybody would have full health. All resources are back to full.
And the
Your temporary hit points are gone.
hit points are gone.
The temp ones are gone. Alright, and the DM is going to add a Sildar icon because he had forgotten to do so.
Ooh. I like it.
Layer token layer, goody. Alright. And I will improvise because I forgot to add stats for him.
20 is on everything.
Perhaps. Alright. You select a token, save changes, that's good enough. Alrighty.
Come on,
Little
Sildar, you
Sildar.
slowpoke.
Oh wait, let me. I forgot to get rid of the 2 silver.
Are you some kind of snail?
Okay. So good old Sildar. He's keeping up with you guys. So you guys take the day, sort of head south, and then you get to the town of Leilon. It's sort of this quaint little place.
Is it
But-
bigger than Phandalin?
Yes, it is bigger than Phandalin because it's along the high road. It's not sort of out in the mining frontier or whatever.
It's a square, not a circle.
Yes. And I don't have a map for that one. We'll just stay on the map, but I can stop the traveling sounds because you guys made it. All right. And so you get there, and you notice that that Sildar sort of goes to sort of secure lodgings for the night, and there's not really many places to be had. That nearly all of the inns are full up, and you notice there's actually a lot of sort of carts and trade goods that are sort of secured in the streets. That the town sort of seems to be overabundant with trade caravans that are just here, not heading anywhere. And-
How?
you
What
sort of-
time? What time is it?
Let's see. You would have started. You traveled about 20 miles, so it's sort of late afternoon.
I'd like to look around to see if I can find any merchants who are trading and selling jewelry.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna say I'm surprised he's not looking for the closest bar.
I'm gonna
Okay.
ride with Bonar.
Both of you, roll me investigation checks to sort of see if you can
Oh,
sift amongst this town to
Yeah.
find
I got stuff I want to sell.
a jeweler.
I see nothing.
Salazar, you're not used to really being in towns with a lot of people and big crowds. as well as it's a foreign land you're not really too familiar. Bonar, you're actually fortunate that you sort of ask around that there's not really any jewelers that are local, but you sort of go into one of the inns and you find that there is, among the people who are staying and sort of filling up the inns, there is a jeweler there. And he's sort of, preparing to have his evening meal, but he's glad to sort of talk shop if you've got a deal going. Apparently he's been stuck in town for a while.
Yeah, I'll go up to him and I'll say, so I hear you're a jeweler.
And he's a fellow dwarf. He's like, aye, that I am.
Ah, very good, very good. Well, if you, like myself, enjoy fine jewelry, you know that there is definitely an art when it comes to fine pieces of jewelry. And I happen to have here, and I pull out the 2 platinum rings that we found. I think in the did we find them in those tombstones?
I found them in the tombs that were in
The Red Brand hideout?
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
The
So I pull out these 2 platinum rings and I say, what I have here is more than just your average piece of jewelry. It's something that I have found on my adventures, faced many dangers. It has a history behind it.
Okay, it's like a...
I make a cutting throat motion to him because we don't want him to think we're grave robbers.
Okay.
Why would he think I was a grave robber?
So you see Salazar sort of giving you a funny eye. Do you say this out loud, Salazar? That's just...
Not at all.
That was out of character. You're just sort of like...
So basically, I'm trying to play up the wonderment of
Okay.
these rings.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, garbage.
Let me
Garbage.
try. I go up to the man and I say, I am with my friend here, and we have gone through many trials and a great deal of difficulty, but we managed to find these jewels and treasures, and I think you'd be very interested in them. I think you'd be very interested in what we have to offer, especially if you could sell it to someone with a story.
Like, alright. You got a story for it. Sure. You get a sense he doesn't believe the tall tale that you've spun, but he is interested in these rings. That he looks at them and says, I can see they have the same sort of crest in it, that they seem to be a pair, that given the quality of the platinum, I'd be willing to give you 25 gold each.
I kind of say, well, that is a generous offer, but we have gone through a lot of trouble to be in the places that we were to come across these fine pieces. Perhaps that you could give us 50 for each.
Sort of sits there for a moment, like, well, they wouldn't be making quite as much a profit, but I think we could settle on 50.
50 each.
Yes.
Very, very well then. That's you have yourself a deal.
And then as they're talking, I pop out from behind my brother, and I'm wearing a gemstone eye patch that I had pulled out of my backpack. And I see you're making a deal here. And I kind of point at my eye patch and say, I don't know. Does this suit any of your fancies there, jeweler?
Like, would I be able to inspect it right there?
Oh, sure. I lean in real close to him.
He sort of is, like, odd, but you get a sense he's dealt with people who have found such things and is sort of a bit eccentric about their wares, and he's a professional. He pulls out this little eyeglass, puts on, and leans in real close and inspects the jewels.
While he's doing that, I motion to the barkeep to bring us another round. Or to bring us a round of beers.
Okay, and so the barkeep, make sure that those are sent down. He sort of The jeweler inspects it closely. He's like, good cut, good clarity. I wouldn't make much use of the eye patch, but I could definitely take the gemstones. For that, I think I'd be willing to give you 40 gold pieces.
40 gold pieces. Hmm.
Can I make an insight check to see if he's like?
Go ahead,
lying?
Salazar.
I feel like he's jipping us. Nope.
That
Everything's on the level here.
yeah, Salazar. As far as you can tell, that he's being very professional.
Yeah.
Do we? I think I've asked this before. Do we get any? What's our bonus for being a dwarf? Something. It's. I don't think
It's for not so much doing with gems and such. It has to do with like stonework, like if you're inspecting a
Okay.
foundation or something like that.
I'm gonna walk up and
Where
I
did
don't
you come
know.
from?
I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna take out my endless decanter of water and try to use mage hand or not mage hand, shape water
Mhm.
to make some ice cubes.
Okay. Yeah.
And put it in his drink, and I'll say, might I add some insight to this deal? These gemstones are actually have magical properties that enhance your eyesight to the other eye when you wear it.
Roll a persuasion check. Here. That he sort of eyes you up and down and says, "Well, I'm not a man of magic. You say they are, but I'm not sure I'd be able to find the right clientele to sell such a thing. But I know the gems are of good quality, 40 gold. My offer stands."
I hand him a platinum ring.
That would also match the set that Connor had made. Oh, a third one. Well, you have 50 gold for that one as well, I guess. Fair's
And I pull
fair.
a gold earring with a ruby out.
I pull out my platinum ring too.
That you see that it's sort of become entertainment for the rest of the tavern to see this bartering going on, and people are like, oh yeah, it's sort of like whispering, taking bets on who's going to pull out what next and how much it's going to go for. So clarity that ruby ring or platinum ring, ruby earring. The gold earring with the ruby. Okay, yeah.
Where'd that comb come from?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's
The
just in
DM
my
does.
inventory.
The DM remembers. All right.
I'm
So-
bald. I can't use it.
Were you keystering it?
No. Let's see. He'll sort of look at the earring, the comb, and the platinum ring, and he says, altogether I'll give you 120 gold for the lot. That's 50 for the ring. And between the earring, the ruby, and the silver comb, that'd be about 70 together, so about 120 gold.
Question: do we have like a treasurer who's holding all the money, or?
I think Elrond?
We have given a
Elrond
lot
has
to
been
Daniel.
with just loose change. If you're making
Like
these
when we-
deals, I would assume your specific characters would get the.
Yeah, like
whatever's-
when we get money in an encounter or something, generally Elrond
Like
has
for
been-
bounty gold and stuff. I've just been hanging on to it.
For these
Okay, so-
individual transactions, I've been just keeping track of it just because it's easier, I think.
Loot.
Yeah.
Loot is fun.
So I take the 120 gold.
Okay, so you make that exchange, and that you see he's pulled out like this little toolkit to like analyze things. And he's sort of like wasn't expecting to be getting to do business, and he's like, I've been stuck here for days. This is great. Any others? Any other comers? What you got? Show it to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my platinum ring too and give him that.
So it's like, well, it seems you found the set that the 50 gold for the ring.
Out of character. I hope we just didn't get royally screwed out of
Yeah.
those platinum ring set.
Like, after that last deal is made, can
This
I do
guy's
a
like-
insight check or
This
You
guy's
can roll it now if you want.
This guy's. I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to look at him to see if he's not like trying to hold back dancing on the inside when he has this full set.
Cathod, that he's a very professional jeweler businessman who's making a deal. You can't read if he's like his eyes twinkling or if he's just sort of excited about
Or it's
getting
just a
ju-
reflection of the
business.
gems.
Yeah,
twinkling.
you're not sure how to read him as far as what his intent is, but he seems a consummate professional.
Yeah, I have my my jewel still on, so I think I get advantage on this insight check.
Which jewel? The
I mean my gem. I'm just kidding. The gem eye patch.
oh yeah,
I was just
okay, gives you okay. Thonar, after you sort of make these exchanges, that you recognize a dwarf making a deal that he has not swindled you, but he will make a decent profit off of reselling these to elsewhere, and so that he did sort of offer prices that were lower the full value, but he's sort of the middleman and needs to make a profit off of it.
I mean, it's like Pawn Stars. He's gotta,
Yeah, he's got to
he's
take
gotta
care of
run
his
his
overhead.
business.
I'd like to bring up the topic of my gemstone eye patch again, and I want to
Oh
ask.
yeah, that I forgot to conclude that one with you. I think was it he offered, was it 40
I
gold?
think he offered
40.
40, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him that it means a lot to me, and the gems are more valuable than he says he wants to pay for them, and so I'm gonna counter offer with 80 gold.
What?
He sort of, it's like, oh well, if they're that precious to you, then they're yours to have.
All right, I keep on the eye patch.
All right, so you still have the eye patch you took off a dead bugbear. And I forgot to get my list of exactly how the thing that's sort of
May
going by
I-
memory. Go ahead, Selena.
I'm talking to the jeweler. May I ask why everyone has been stuck here? It
Oh,
seems
well,
like
the marsh is flooded. That we can't get our carts through. That the high road is all flooded over. That they've been working to try and clear it a bit, but they've only had a couple days to make progress. I mean, if you were to go on foot, you might be able to make it, but none of our carts are going to be able to make it.
This is
I'm
why
gonna-
we need stone roads.
I'm gonna
Well,
ask.
it
if
is a
these-
stone road, but when water gets over the top of it and makes it all muddy, nobody's willing to risk their horse or their cart. You'll lose a whole shipment into the marsh. Oh, that's bad business.
I'm gonna ask if he'd be able to make a large purchase.
Really? What sort of purchase are we talking about?
It's a very special item. I found deep in our journey and in our travels. I'm gonna show him the golden elf.
Golden elf.
Yeah, it had like he said it
Okay.
had like
Mhm.
green gem eyes or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think you found that in
it was like one of our
Kragmaw
first-
Castle.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
Kragmaw
was it the
Castle.
frog?
I
think it's a-
The
No?
frog was a jade frog. I
Okay,
think
yeah,
we
it's a
already
jade
sold
frog.
that.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did. So he sees that, he looks over, he's like, oh, very nice piece, very nice. I think this might fetch to the right buyer. I'd be able to take it off your hands for 70 gold.
It's a little less than I was expecting. I was told by another jeweler that it would be 90 gold.
Well, I mean, if you're able to find another buyer, you're free to go with it. But it seems your options are a little limited right now.
Well, that's why I've had it for such a long time. I'm just searching for the right buyer. But if you're not the one,
Alright, it's your loss that you'll have to hold on to it a while longer, that you can't make a purchase without the right gold. But good luck in your bartering that for a sandwich.
okay.
I'm gonna come over to him again, and I'm gonna say, I didn't want to sell these, but
Oh,
I've been
nobody
holding-
wants to sell all these things, but yet somehow they keep bringing them out.
I slowly bring out 8 spoons from my backpack and I lay them out on the table.
Like, alright, now you're just having a joke with me.
No, check out the spoons.
He
Take
picks
a
it
look
up.
at them.
They're iron. Puts it back.
All right. I pull out a spork.
Like,
What about this?
this has been hacked to pieces. It's iron.
All right. I put them away.
Okay. Does anybody else have any sort of gemstones that they like, or precious things?
Yeah, I'd like to show him the exquisite pearl that I have.
Alright, yeah. He offers a good clarity, good surface, decent size. I'd give this one 20 gold.
I'll take it.
Alright.
And I'll also show him the carnelians and peridot. I don't know.
You got a ton of stuff.
Yeah, he's had quite a few things in a while. For the lot of those gemstones, let's see. I think he offers you 25 gold.
For 2 peridots and 5 carnelians.
Oh, 5 carnelians. He offers 50 gold.
Okay, I'll take it.
I kind of look him up and down, and then I kind of whisper to my brother, I wonder where he's hiding all this gold.
Well, he's got like his little chest with the tools in it, and there's also apparently one compartment that has like pouches of gold and whatever, as well as jewelers' instruments for tracking things.
Do you remember where I got the books from? Was that from...
I think in Wave Echo Cave you found a chest with some old books in them.
Okay. Yeah, because that's where I got the Decanter of Endless Water, right?
It was in Wave Echo Cave, but not in that room.
Okay. Yeah. It's in the same block. Okay.
Any other treasures that the DM can't quite remember where they came from or exactly how much they're worth?
Oh wait, actually.
To sell.
I don't see them in my inventory,
Mhm.
but I had those 2 gems I pried from that statue and nearly killed everybody.
That you do. You do have those.
So
I think I forget exactly what kind of jewels. I think they're like rubies.
oh no, fine emeralds.
Fine emeralds. Okay, yes. Yes.
So I say, all right. Now I know we've taken up a lot of your time, even though, I mean, you've gotten to do business, so that's good. I'm glad we're able to help you out on that. I do have one more pair of treasures here that I assume
really?
would be interested in. And I reach into my bag and produce the 2 fine emeralds.
And his eyes sort of
I-
sparkle when you pull them out.
I hesitate for a second and I say, now these quite literally nearly cost us our lives. and then I hand them to him to inspect.
He sort of gingerly takes it up, puts it up to his eyeglass. Like, well, I'm sorry you went through the trouble. These are fakes. He puts them down.
I'm gonna whisper. You can't afford them.
Quite. That you see that he pulls it up. That you can't get a cut like this on an emerald. This is very fine glass. I could give you maybe 5 gold apiece.
I'll hang on to him, thanks.
All
I
right.
mutter under my breath, we need to find a stupid gem dealer.
Right, because you found a smart one right here.
We sure did.
All right, gentlemen.
Can I wander off and look for a healing potion vendor?
Okay. Yeah, you sort of take a moment, and you sort of gathered a crowd, and you can tell there's a lot of like tradesmen and vendors sort of looking around, and that they're sort of interested in the trade that had been going on. And so you see somebody who might has the guys and the markings of somebody who would deal with alchemy and potion brewing, and you sort of flag them down. And so, I think we have prices for those. Somewhere they're what, like, I'm gonna say like 100 gold each, I think.
I don't
Nice.
think we have them in the player's handbook. I think that stuff is in.
No, they are in the
They are
player's
in the
handbook.
player's handbook. Yeah.
Oh, they
I
are.
just gotta go find it.
Yeah.
Those are trinkets. Where did it go?
It's under adventuring gear.
Yeah. Potion of healing, 50 gold pieces.
I'm gonna buy 2 potions of healing.
Okay. Now that
I would
the
like to buy-
jewel haggling is sort of out of the way, we don't have to role play each thing. That these are healing potions are sort of standardized pricing.
I would like 6 of them.
6. All right, so that is 300 gold, sir.
Here you are, my good man.
And very
How much do
appreciative.
potions of healing heal?
They are 1d4 or 2d4 plus 2, and
Is that a? Oh, so are they minor potions of healing?
yeah, a standard healing potion is just a potion of healing, unless unless stated otherwise, it's a standard one. And Salazar bought 6 out of the 10 available.
Okay, I haven't bought 2.
Yeah, you did say you wanted 2, so there are 2 left that the vendor has.
So they're 2d4 plus 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Honor should probably get them.
Well, he bought 2. There are 2 left. Salazar has 6.
Yes, and Thonar should get the last ones.
Oh, Thonar.
I'm gonna recommend that to Thonar. Thonar, you should probably buy some before he runs out.
I kind of look at him, and I remind him of all of the times that he's been hit and weakened, and
I'm good. I'm gonna stay out of the fight. I
Alright.
don't expect you will.
I say fair enough, and I buy the 2.
Okay. So that's 100 gold, 50 apiece.
I kind of sidle up to the merchant, and I kind of like almost put my arm around him. I'm like, "Can you teach me how to make me these?"
Well, 1, I don't know you, and 2, it would take a fair bit of training, the proper materials and the brewing equipment for it. Teach, yes, the knowledge would take a while, but you'd have to have the right supplies.
I just want to know how to make this one thing. Don't you have a recipe?
Oh, well, there's multiple ways to do it. That some people just use herbs and alchemy to brew it up. Others are the arcane practitioners, as well as some of the clerics are able to imbue magic into doing the same effect. But there's multiple ways to go about it.
You are of no help.
Well, I'm sorry that I gather the herbs for a good year or so before I'm able to make this whole batch here. And though a lot of you have made trading a fair bit easy, I don't have to go all the way to Waterdeep. I can go back home.
Enjoy your ride home.
Oh, many thanks.
I poke him and leave.
Odd fellow.
I pull out my roll of wool and say, "Does anybody want this?"
That
To the vendors that are around.
everybody sort of turns like, and there's no response. Because they're expecting that these interesting looking fellows that have been pulling out these sort of wondrous odd items, as well as sort of a a rather eclectic, interesting group. They're hoping for some crazy, who knows what they're going to pull out next, and it's just some wool, and they're like, oh no. And around this point, that Sildar sort of finds, he's like, I've secured some lodging for us for the night. That took some doing. That the town seems kind of inundated with tradesmen. That I've heard that the high road has been flooded. That carts aren't able to make it, but we should be fine if we go by foot. And not that it's an emergency, but time is a little bit of the essence for our particular needs.
Will we pass through Averin first?
Averin's on the other side of the narrow sea, buddy. So no.
Okay. My knowledge of geography is very limited.
Yeah, and the DM will be posting sort of a rudimentary world map in the future. It'll sort of give you an idea of where things are.
Cool.
Yep. And so this is that the northern frontiers, a little piece of the world that we'll be dealing with. Right. So that you got some lodging for the night if you so desire. And
I'm going back.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
alright. You guys go ahead and you get your night's rest. That I'm gonna say it costs you 5 silver apiece for the meal and the room. So I don't know if you want to take that out of party funds.
Yeah, let's
would
do
be-
that from party funds. I think that
That's,
makes sense.
With the 7 of you, that's 35 with Sildar, and so 3 gold, 5 silver.
During the night, I'm
Nah.
just going to.
I will bring up.
Go.
Is Sildar fronting this because we're currently under his employ, or is this our?
Actually, no,
business
Sildar
expense?
will cover that. Yep, thank you. Yeah, Sildar would cover your travel and food expenses. Selena, what do you want to do?
At night, Selena's gonna go out, try to find. Start.
Find a what?
getting- Find a place, like a quiet, isolated place, and just start training and
Okay. That
getting him.
you go ahead and you get your sort of 4 hours meditation, in the privacy of the inn. You sort of sneak out at night and roll me a stealth check to sort of see if you get out of the room unnoticed. And you get it with advantage because everybody's asleep. I'm sure the dwarves are snoring loudly. Okay, yeah, just like a shadow in the night. Just you're gone, and you're sort of out in the street. That it's a clear night. That it's the moon's not full, but it's sort of like a half moon. So there's plenty of light for your vision, and there's a few torches throughout town because it is a larger town. It's not Phandalin where everybody's in bed. And you sort of go and you find you have a choice of maybe an alleyway or two, but the edge of town isn't too far, and there might be like a small wooded grove where you can go and practice and be unnoticed. Any particular thing you want to practice? What you're doing? Your knife work, your acrobatics, your what?
Yeah, I'm a knife work. Acrobatic.
Okay, so you go and you take your 2 magical daggers that you have, and you're sort of trying to get the right weight and see how keen the edge is to be able to know exactly where you can place it and how to throw them best and all the different things. And so you spend sort of a while going through those practices, and it's sort of good to sort of get into the routine like you used to have and sort of the discipline of it. And so you do that for a few hours when you can sort of see it's not sunrise yet, but there's sort of that light on the horizon coming up. You sneak back to the group.
No. I'll just go back. Let them see me. I don't
Okay.
care.
Okay. So you guys are sort of waking up. It's daybreak. That there's breakfast. You can smell it cooking down in the bottom of the inn. That people don't seem to be too keen to be in a hurry because most of the guests don't have any place to be while the roadway's being cleared away or the flooding subsides. But you smell breakfast being cooked, and sort of Selena joins back in the room that she hadn't been there when you guys woke up. Alright. Actually, technically, Elrond, you would have taken your 4 hours meditation and just sort of either stayed meditating or just sort of relaxing, so you would have known she hasn't been there for a while.
I was muted. Yeah, I'll ask what she's been up to, or if she's more, not that I'm like suspicious of her, but ask if she's like found out anything else about the town or anything. I don't know what she's been doing, so maybe she'd been finding stuff out.
They're really excited to hear what's gonna happen.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
He just sort of asks you if you found out any more information about what's been going on in town, because you've been gone, so he doesn't know what you've been up to.
No, sorry, don't have any information.
Alright.
Does my familiar have to sleep?
Nope.
Okay. Just
As well
curious.
as one thing is, as an as an action, you can actually dismiss it into like just an extra dimensional space, and then recall it back.
Okay.
And so if there's ever a situation where you don't want to get it hurt, or you don't want people to see that you have it, you can dismiss it and it's gone, and you can resummon it.
So if it gets hurt, will it retain damage?
With that dismiss, yes? Yeah. If you just dismiss it and call it back, you would retain the damage that it had. If you were to, you now know the spell Find Familiar, which is a level 1 spell, takes 10 minutes to cast and costs 10 gold worth of supplies, but we'll just say it's just flat gold.
Okay.
And if you do that, you get your familiar back, as well as you could change its form from a pseudo dragon to something else if you desired. But it kind of wants to stay a pseudo dragon.
Yeah.
As well as then it would heal, as well as if your familiar is injured to the point where its existence ceases in this plane, you can always resummon it with casting the spell.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
yeah, essentially your familiar can be temporarily banished / destroyed, but you can always resummon it. So it's not mortal, really. Yeah. Cubs might break the curse. Alright. So, you guys are there, you've had your breakfast, which Sildar pays for, and you guys are ready to head out onto the flooded road if you so desire.
I desire it.
I desire it too.
Okay. So you guys,
After a nice breakfast of fried eggs and ale.
fried eggs and ale, yeah. Sildar was made sure to order some ale for the dwarves, even though it is, like 7 a.m. in the morning.
I will send that.
7 a.m. only comes once a day.
You're gonna send your familiar out ahead to sort of look around?
Yeah, like half a mile or so, or...
Okay. That he sort of is sending back messages and imagery of what you guys will shortly encounter, so I'll describe it once. As well as a note, Cathod, that I looked up the details, that because it's your familiar, only you can gain the resistance to magic if he's within 5 feet. It doesn't cover everybody.
Okay,
Because he's bonded to you, he's able to share that trait with you.
gotcha.
Okay.
Resistance to what?
So, resistance to magic.
Okay,
You have advantage on saving throws against magic.
cool.
As long as he's within 5 feet of you.
Yeah,
Or is it 10 feet? I don't remember exactly. I think it says in the thing.
it's fine.
Dragon familiar. Magic resistance. Yeah, the pseudo dragon has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. And it can share that with you if you're within 5 feet.
Okay.
You guys, Cathod, you're sort of getting this information ahead of time from your familiar. But you guys sort of head out of town, and that south of town, that there's sort of some townsfolk with shovels and sort of pitchforks and sort of landscaping equipment, to try and clear the roadway of the water and sort of build up maybe some dams on the side of it, sort of clear it off, sort of try and drain the water here and there. But they've only made progress for maybe about half a mile so far, and it's quite a ways. And so you got there, and there's maybe like 36 people along that half, or along sort of the part that's still wet, but it's a cobblestone roadway, but where you sort of see the marsh, it's flooded up on. It's all kind of gotten muddy and dirty, and they've cleaned it off somewhat where they've pushed the water away. But after about half a mile, there's parts of the road that are above the water, some that sort of submerge a little, but it's all kind of muddy and stuff. It'll be traversable, but your boots might get a bit nasty.
I wear no boots.
No, you don't.
Do magic boots have resistance to getting dirty?
Actually, sort of, yeah, that they would clean off fully, but doesn't mean that it doesn't get dirty. Initially, it just means they're easier to clean.
Okay. I accept.
Okay, wonderful.
Can I do? So we're like right on the edge of this.
Yeah.
I guess I'll do like a perception check just to see if the water looks like there's anything up with it, and I fail.
Well, you don't fail. You just don't like find out like super insight to it. Five is sort of like a simple task,
Okay.
and so this is a simple task to see. It's sort of dirty marsh water. That
Okay.
there's little bits of plant matter floating in it, and some of it's muddier sections than others, as well as you can sort of there's a little bit of brackishness to it. It's not pure salt water. It's where it's sort of like mixing salt water, but you guys are much further in the coast, so it's not right with the ocean there.
Okay.
All right, so you guys sort of go ahead.
No, say just proceed.
Okay. So you guys make your way. That the sun's nice and bright, but it is sort of sloppy work to be getting through, and that there's some sections that are completely above water for a while, but then it sort of dips down and gets nasty and stuff. You do find that there have been sort of some wagon ruts that have gone through, and then it looks like spots where they got stuck, and then were pulled out and headed back north to Leyland. And so there were attempts made to get through with carts, but they weren't all too successful. And there's evidence of that, people sort of turning around and heading back. So it's not that people were wimps and didn't want to try it. They tried, and it was nasty.
Did
So
we
you guys-
know, like, is this a kind of regular thing for this area, that it's just like a nasty area for carts and stuff, or is this kind of like people weren't expecting it to be bad and that's why they're all stuck at the town?
From the demeanor of the town, that this was sort of unexpected, a little surprising. That usually the marsh, it has sort of tides that it rises and flows, but it's never flooded quite like this.
Can I kind of check to see, or at least kind of make like, at least like, does it look like it's kind of like a natural occurrence, or does it look like something weird, like maybe
Go-
something's causing it, or, like,
Along
different
the
or,
same
like, the source
vein,
of it, or that sort of thing?
along that
So-
same vein, the tall tales about these marshes, would any of them
Oh yeah.
have any sort of explanation for flooding or a change in waters?
Elrine, roll me a nature check. Bonner, roll me a history check. Okay, so Elrine, from what you can tell, the rise of the water and the flooding seems perfectly natural, but you do know there can be some entities and some things that can affect water, whether it's water spirits or sort of some natural beings are able to sort of change the flow of things. It could be there might be some entity out in the ocean that has caused a strange flow of whatever, but there doesn't seem to be anything unnatural
It's
about the
all-
water in this area. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that there might have been something elsewhere might have diverted water, but it's not anything odd here.
Okay.
Bonar, you're sort of trying to recall, but no stories in particular out of Beware of the Marsh. You'll get stuck and eaten by goblins, or there's always the typical, the stereotypical old hag that lives in the marsh that will cook your bones and eat them and whatever. There's nothing super
Okay.
yeah, too spoopy.
Wonder
Spoopy.
if I can. No.
I'm gonna ask. Are we still around the workers and stuff cleaning out?
No, that
We
sort of
passed them.
yeah, you passed them a ways back. I'd say you guys have been probably traveling for a couple hours now. You're a few miles into this, and you've sort of seen the different examples. Some carts rutted, the ruts that they made, and sort of you can tell in a couple places like the cart tipped over because there's like a splash in the wherever it was.
Okay.
Uh,
Can I kind of send my familiar out over the water to see if there's anything that might be like kind of causing this or?
Okay. Yeah, you send your familiar out a ways, and it's just sort of sending a lot of sort of the same imagery of, water, trees, plant life, and that there's it's not just like flat water. It's like swampy with like some old, trees sticking out here and there, some vegetation coming out of it. You can sort of see some animal activity. There's bugs. The bugs aren't too bad yet, but it's sort of afternoon and the sun is bright. There's evidence of fish rippling in there. Maybe some turtles and stuff. But it is. Keep in mind that this thing is like 20 miles wide, and so you can't see
only
perfectly
a mile
across.
out, yeah.
Yeah. And so, and even for the visual, you can't see like it's not like an ocean where you can see like all the way to the horizon. That there's plants and trees and stuff in your way. It's sort of like a sparse forest, like a very spread out forest, but with like these weeping willows and such.
Everglades.
Okay.
Glades, yeah. It's sort of glades.
It's just us traveling, right? We don't have a cart or anything this time, so that we have to worry
No.
about.
You're on foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're currently going to the place to pick up an item
get
for
that.
delivery. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that this is just sort of usually this road is nice and clear. It's a big trade route between Neverwinter and Waterdeep, but for whatever reason that this had gotten flooded.
Well, looks like we better roll our pants up.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Kathan.
No, I was saying maybe we should just keep going, see if there's something up ahead.
Okay. And so you guys are traveling for a while. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you get to a section where that it won't make quite the exact sense on the map once we get to it, but it's sort of this narrow section where the road is a little bit above water, but it's flooded on both sides, and so you've got a dry path to walk on, but there's sort of these water on both sides. And as you're sort of walking along, that make perception checks.
All of us?
Yeah, everybody.
Just curious because I had forgotten it even existed. Did we ever use our passive perception? Is that
Actually-
still a thing in 5th edition?
Yes, passive perception exists, but there's no real super rules of how to use it, so I've kind of been flying by the seat of my pants of how to apply it.
Okay.
Do we have a particular marching order for the group?
I mean, I feel like I like to be in front, but that's
Okay.
just me.
Back.
Bring
I'd
up the rear.
I'd be somewhere in the front because I'd probably sort of be the one guiding people through it.
Okay. And then I'm going to say that Thonar, you'll be near your brother, then Salazar. We'll put good old Sildar sort of middle back. Okay, and then we'll also add a little familiar. We'll say it's next, or it's with Cathod. Alright, so people made perception checks. Okay.
We are still on the other map, just as a...
Yep, I'm very aware.
Okay, cool.
So that Sonar and Salazar, Selena, and Bonner. So okay, so essentially Cathod and Elrine. You don't quite notice, but the rest of you, actually, we'll say that it's Bonner, and Salazar. You see on the left side of the water, and Selena, you see on the right side of the water, is sort of rippling in an odd pattern that is unnatural.
I got a bad feeling about this.
And as you say that, the water ripples and rushes towards you on either side. And
I'm the anti-Moses. Water rushes in.
No thanks. Oh, I've got the wrong thing. Okay, so appearing from either side, these water entities swoop up and start making their way towards you.
Swoop a spoop.
Swoop a spoop. I need everybody to roll initiative. And let's see if I can find some music for this. I don't know if I have any good. Okay. Yeah, this'll work.
So far, my advantage has not done much work.
I mean, you got to tie with me.
I got one.
You tied with me.
I didn't get the same number both time. This time, that's good.
Yeah, you did better on the
Okay.
second one.
So, first off is one of these entities that's on, at least looking at the map, the right side of your character's left. It is going to whoosh in right on top of you guys and use its whelm ability.
So overwhelming.
Yes, so we'll send this one to the back. Okay, so Salazar and Thonar. Thonar, I don't know if your health is back to full. It's not displaying it correctly in here. Alright, I need you both to make strength saving throws.
Sorry.
Okay, so it's going to be... Okay, both of you fail. You take... As this thing swoops in, and its water engulfs you and starts pouring down your throat and surrounding you. You're currently suspended sort of in some of its water. You take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as you're smashed about and hit by this water. You are currently grappled and restrained and cannot breathe. Unless you're able to breathe water.
I roll to grow gills.
You fail.
Need some
Okay.
gillyweed.
Rolls a D1.
Yeah.
I don't
All
feel
right.
like I can use control water on them.
You probably could.
It's worth a
Keep in mind,
try.
Control. This is like a large entity that is like hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water. You would be able to affect some of it.
Part in my lungs.
Yeah. I will probably let you, if you want to do that, try and contest it. Let's see here. And actually is, after it does that, it is your turn, Salazar.
I'm gonna try to control water to loosen, at least to get the water out of my lungs, but maybe loosen myself out of the water. Too.
Okay, and this is, it's shaped water, isn't it? Control water is a 4th level spell. Gotta pull this up here. What's the actual name of the cantrip?
Shape water.
Control shape water.
Oh, control water. He has it labeled as.
Yeah. Alright, I've gotta just grab up the appropriate PDF for this.
Appropriate.
Ew. The Elemental Evil Players Companion.
What mine is. Appropriate.
Okay, shape water. It fills a 5-foot cube. Essentially move or otherwise change the flow of the water in any direction. Okay. I will say you can use this as your athletics check to try and escape the grapple of it by like shoving the water away, and I will totally give you advantage for that.
Cool.
And so you can roll acrobatics or athletics to try and work your way out of this creature's watery grip. And with it, yeah, with the 26, actually even with the 15, or the 16, you're able to sort of flow the water away from you, and you are ejected out to right there. That is your action. Alright.
Good.
Okay. Thonar, you are up. You are currently caught inside this water being tossed and turned around, and you cannot breathe.
Does my familiar have its own initiative?
I think he acts on your turn.
Yeah, it's on my turn. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to. Wait, so am I grappled? What does that mean I can't do stuff?
Your movement is 0. You are restrained, which means attacks against you have advantage, and you have disadvantage on attacks.
Alright, well. I'm not too happy that I am being drowned right now. So I'm going to go into a rage. And I am going to. If I attack recklessly and they already have advantage, then it doesn't even matter, right?
It goes to a flat roll. Or yeah. You can't get double advantage.
Alright, well, I'm feeling reckless, so I'm gonna take a big gulp of the water that's already in my throat, and I'm gonna try and swing at this guy.
Okay. Alright, so this will be just the first roll count. Okay, 23 will hit.
Alright.
Wait, which one?
The one that's currently inside.
Oh, well, he has advantage. I meant
No,
which
he-
23.
Oh, yeah. Well played.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, +2, because I'm raging. I'm a raging Cajun.
Yes.
And, I'm gonna go and swing again.
Alright, go for it.
Oh.
And with that, the first one you're able to sort of grab Lightbringer around and sort of 1 foot you're able to push off the ground, find it outside the water, and swing the maul through and sort of disturb and ripple through this entity. And you can see that it doesn't care for that. Its shape sort of flows, but you're disturbing, the essence that holds it together. The second one is sort of, you're tossed and turned around and you're sort of thrashing, but not able to cause any damage inside of it.
Okay.
Alright.
That's my
So
turn.
did it look like he was able to hurt this with his sword?
Yeah,
Okay.
with Lightbringer, the Warhammer. So
Right.
yeah, he was able to sort of push it out. His arm sort of swung outside of the water for a moment, and then back in and smack it. All right, and it did seem to disturb this entity. Selena, you're up.
Alright, just a question real quick. What does the little snails mean?
Oh, I don't know why somebody put a snail on that. I also need to take the snail off of Sildar and actually add him to the initiative.
Come on, Sildar, get your crap together.
Yeah, he would be.
I know
And
you
the
were
DM forgot to
technically.
improvise a. Sorry, was he added to the thing? Okay, yes. Alright, so goody. And the DM will have to improvise stats for Sildar. He'll come up with that soon enough. Alright. So, Selena, you're up.
Alright. I don't feel like an arrow is gonna do much damage to water, but let's go for it.
You need like a grenade arrow. Shoot it and explode. Or just save a bunch of those dehydration packets from like inside stuff and like tie a bunch of them to the end of an arrow. There you go. Instantly absorb them.
Okay, yeah, you very much hit, and you get the sneak attack damage because allies are threatening this thing. I assume you're getting the one that Thonar is currently in?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, and you shoot an arrow through it, and it sort of streaks through the water, and sort of spurts some out, and the arrow went through it and hit the water. It seemed to have disrupted it, but this thing is still very nice and healthy. Alright, so that's your action. Do you want to take a bonus action to do anything?
I'm just gonna stay there.
Okay. Alright, Cathod, it's your turn.
Okay. Since all my spells that would probably do well against it are AoE, I guess I'm gonna use my level 2 magic missile from my crystal.
Okay. And which one you hitting?
The one that's on the guys.
Okay, focus fire.
Yeah, all of them.
Alright, so you can roll 4 times with that. Okay. And so that is a total of 5 plus 8 is 13. Okay, so Cathod conjures these missiles, and they sort of the energy flows out from his crystal into his hands, and these 4 purple missiles fly out and smack all into this entity for 13 damage.
At least I don't take damage when this thing gets hurt like the rug.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Okay.
Well, there's more we can aim at.
Alright, and
Back up a bit.
the arcane energy causes some of the water to sort of steam and spurt where it's hit by these missiles. And you back up a bit. Okay.
And yeah, I'll have my familiar kind of hang back as well, and I'll have him go fly up in the air higher. So
Okay. Yep. So he's higher than currently he appears to be.
yeah.
All right. Elrine.
Hey, I'm gonna run down the bridge.
Okay. As you move out of the way, that this creature is going to take a swipe at you.
Yeah.
A 10 does not hit.
Woohoo.
So sort of this watery pseudopod goes out and swipes at you, but you're already ducked out of the way.
Cool. I'll Hunter's Mark the sucker that Thonar is sucking.
Okay.
Gotta mark that.
Everybody wants to save me. I feel so loved.
Nobody wants to step in the water.
I have like 0 strength. And I'll just do a normal chat.
Okay.
Beasts, right? No
They are
beasts,
not.
beasts.
They seem to be this nasty, swampy water animated.
Gross. 21.
That will hit.
Cool.
And it is damaged. And Hunter's marked.
I know, so many numbers. 8, 15, 17, and then plus 1, 18.
18?
Mhm.
Alright. And so there's a gout of water that pours from this thing as Elrine places an arrow sort of in the face, the pseudo face that this thing has. It sort of sprays water as it goes in, and then the face reforms and goes.
Alright, I'll try a sharpshooter one for my second one.
Okay.
11.
That will not hit.
And I'm
That one, you sort of let it fly, and the water sort of whooshes away out around the arrow, and it flies past.
no fair.
Okay. Bonar, your turn. Your brother's currently caught up in the water of this thing.
How does it look like it's been damaged at all, or can I not tell really?
That where beforehand the flow of the water within it seemed very coordinated, some of it is sort of sporadic and spurring around, and you get a sense, yeah, it's decently injured.
Okay, I run towards him. I assume, can I stand on, am I still
Yeah.
like, on there? Okay, so I run over there, and I lunge forward with my sword and just pull it up.
Okay. Make an attack. That'll hit.
Boom.
Ooh, shakalaka.
They're just completely water, right? There's not like any.
I mean, there's like grit and plant matter and like disgusting, nasty swamp water.
Okay, yeah, but there's not like any sort of items or armor like fused in
Nope,
with them.
nope.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take another swing with my
Go for
sword.
it.
Swing, bada.
I mean, your brother's in.
And that one, you go to swing and you realize you're about to hit your brother, and so then you just direct your swing completely up, miss the creature and your brother, but yeah, you don't even hit the water.
All right, I am dead.
Okay, Sildar will go ahead and he will make an attack. His first one misses, but his second one hits, and he does. Oh, good old Sildar. Is 10 points of slashing damage with his longsword, and sort of slashes, and the water sort of sprays off into the water on the side of the walkway here. Okay, so that one's done. The other creature is going to whoosh in and back. It's gonna try to engulf Sildar and Salazar.
Hey, gum.
Alright, so I need you to make strength saving throws. Sildar fails. Alright, so I'm here, I've got to roll for... Where'd you go? There you are.
Guess it's a good thing you bought all those health potions.
Yes.
Alright, 13 points of damage. As again, this water sort of grabs you and tosses you and bashes into you and sort of pours down your throat. And both of you are currently grappled and restrained within the water of this creature. Right, and that is that thing's turn. Okay. And as these things have disturbed the water and rushed onto you, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Keep track of stuff. Okay. Selena, make a perception check.
Nope.
Okay, well this is interesting because the entity that was trying to do something rolled a natural 1 on its check as well, and so I'll say it does not have surprise as a crocodile comes out of the water here and rushes towards you and makes an attack against you. It does not have advantage because it didn't surprise you.
Great.
And a 22 will hit. Alright, you take 6 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled by the crocodile. will use its remaining movement to pull you out into the water.
Everybody's so handsy tonight. Grappling everybody.
Oh man.
So you're currently caught in its jaws, like it's got you sort of by your leg, and it's pulling you down into the water.
Don't let it do a death roll. Pretend to be dead. Pretend to be dead.
That would be the opposite of help.
All right. So now the first water entity.
Wait, you said 6 points again.
6 points. Up, and it gets its ability back. On the start of this water elemental's turn, let's see, Thonar, you take. As this thing continues to churn you in there, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, which is halved because you're raging, so you take 5. And it's going to take you with it and try and scoop up your brother. Alright, make a strength saving throw there, Bonner.
Okay.
Yeah, you succeed, and so you're actually, as this thing
strong.
tries to suck into you, it ejects you out into the water there, and you sort of splash. You're up sort of to your midsection in this nasty swamp water and muck. But that is that creature's turn. Salazar, you are currently restrained inside of this water entity.
I'm gonna try and get out again with control water.
Alright, you have advantage. Acrobatics. Good. So yeah, you roll an acrobatics check to sort of assist you in escaping this thing. Oh yeah, and you totally get out. You get out back onto the walkway here. That is your turn, but you're no longer inside of the water elemental. Oh,
Can I use
I
the
told what they
bonus
were.
action to swallow a urine?
Oh no.
Okay, yeah. You go ahead and sort of sort of pull some of the water out with your control water from your lungs, and you grab a potion and go ahead and drink it. That's 2d4 plus 2. Okay, so you heal 8 hit points. Making use of that stash of 6. Okay, that is your turn unless you want to move away from both of these, but considering
I would
you
like
get...
to move away.
You'd like to move away?
Yeah.
Okay, then both of these are going to swipe out at you as you try and get away.
You didn't think that one through very well.
Okay, the first one, 17 to hit, which misses.
Oh.
And the other one, crits.
Oh.
You take 25 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing just takes 2 water pseudopods and goes smack with you in between.
Oh my goodness. Did not
I'm
think that
unconscious.
through.
You got water in your nose, bro.
Alright, I will say that you did make it to there, though.
Oh, good.
Okay, Thonar, it's your turn. You were caught in this rippling water around you.
So there's no way to ungrapple without that being my action. Like,
It takes an action to get out of a grapple.
okay, all right. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna, seeing this guy here get knocked out, I'm gonna go ahead and recklessly swing again. My I don't know, this guy that's holding me.
Okay. Well, yeah, you hit, and that is a crit. That is 20 points of bludgeoning damage as you sort of get some footing and are able to swing the hammer outside of the water and bring it back in and make a big ol' splash.
+2.
Plus 2. Oh, goodness, yeah. So that is 22. You can sense the strength of the water that's swirling around you is really weak right now, and this thing is like having difficulty keeping its form. Its water sort of swells up and falls down and swells up and falls down. It still has you, but it is hurting.
Well, and I'm gonna hit him while he's weak, boy. You know.
All
it.
right.
Reckless again. Go reckless.
But because you have disadvantage because you're restrained in the water,
Yeah.
it's just the first roll, and that you're not able to get enough sort of momentum to do any damage to it.
All right. That's my turn.
Okay. Selena.
Alright, I'm gonna try to do a dual melee.
Okay. So this thing has you grappled. It's not restrained, so you don't have disadvantage. But your speed is currently 0 as it holds you in its mouth. You can totally stabby.
Yeah. Can I try to like reach up and stab him in the skull?
Go for it.
Alright, daggers.
Alright, so your first one hits, you don't get sneak attack, because, that will be +1, because it would be with one of your magical daggers. That's 10 points of piercing damage. And then your second one. Alright, that also hits, but it doesn't get the +5 of your dexterity, because it is an offhand strike. So that is 4 additional damage. So you plunge the first dagger into this thing like near one of its eyes. You actually get one of its eyes, and the other one you sort of rake along the side of its head. This thing is starting to bleed profusely and is looking pretty rough, but it still has you just clamped. It's now like even angrier and sort of bites down on you as you stab into it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Elrine, make me a perception check.
Oh boy.
Alright, let's see. Alright, and you do not notice as this fellow, yes it is this fellow. Another alligator or crocodile bursts out of the water and is gonna come up and try and grab you.
Would I get to add my what is it? My extra bonus if it's an alligator? Because my favorite enemy's beasts.
And so
Does that count here?
I think that's for attacks, not for perception checks. And you are currently
Oh, it says to track and
Mhm.
recall info.
yeah.
Okay.
And so this one is going to go ahead and make a bite at you. It rolls a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Alright, you take 11 points of piercing damage as it clamps down on you, and it's just moving forward and it's going to push you, take you with it into the water. Actually, no, it'll drag you backward. So it'll get about there, because it can move half speed when it's got something grappled. Alright, so it's got you there.
No.
Cathod, your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna use magic missile from one of them from my crystal,
Mm-hmm.
and hit the one that has stunner.
Okay, so all 3 bolts into that one?
Yeah, all 3.
Alright. Roll that beautiful damage. Okay, so you conjure these missiles and they go and these purple flying streaks of arcane energy hit and detonate in the middle of this thing, and bloosh! Water sprays everywhere as it expires, and just the water just turns into seemingly regular swamp water and disappears. You know, just drips down into the swamp again.
Okay, let me see. Also, I guess. Nah, I'll just pass.
Okay. Alright, so that's your action. You're not going to move. Alright, you're all set.
Yeah.
Then, Bonnar, it is your turn. You are currently in the water. That's going to be considered difficult terrain.
Okay. If I move here,
Mm-hmm.
Are we flanking?
Sildar's currently engulfed by this thing, so no,
No.
he's not able to threaten it in combat.
Okay. First, I'm going to move up there and use an action to use the Bloodstone.
Okay.
On Salazar.
Okay.
So I give him
And you give him 8 hit points.
8. Let me mark that off real quick. And then I'm going to use my action surge
Aha, action surge.
To yeah, I'm just gonna straight up attack this water elemental.
Okay. So 2 swipes. That's a hit. And that's a hit. So you just sort of grab the bloodstone, grab Salazar's wrist, and just energy imbues into his body, and just sort of spurts back to life. And then you take blood step and just swoosh, swoosh, 2 big slashes through this thing. It takes 28 points of damage. Woo.
Nice.
All right. Better enter the right number so I don't give it more hit points than it had. Okay, so that's your action, extra action from Action Surge. Anything else?
I don't think. No, that's it.
Okay. Elrine,
So
you're currently grappled by this thing.
okay.
He's got you sort of by the leg and pulling you into the water.
Okay. What does that? How much does that limit me? Am I
you're
still able to attack him?
you're able to attack him. Yep.
Okay.
It's just currently your movement is 0.
Oh, okay. But I can pull my sword. It's not like
Yeah,
I can't move.
you can draw your weapons. Restrained is when you have disadvantage on attacks.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go at him with yeah, just a short sword. I guess I do that twice now. I don't really do the offhand thing. Because I'll use my bonus action to move Hunter's Mark over. Did that other guy die? Somehow?
Yes, that Cathod splooshed him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'll move Hunter's Mark over to my crocodile buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll attack him with the short sword.
No, you should tame him.
Crocodile Dundee. Or Crocodile Hunter.
I roll 14.
G'day, mates. 14 to hit.
Yeah.
That'll
do
hit.
Oh, okay.
This is a big thing. It's currently it's kind of easy to hit.
Okay. That's 1d6. 26, 2d6, and I get +2 for my
Mm-hmm.
beast thingy. So 8 + 4 + 2 is 14.
14. Okay. So you stab this thing really good. Sort of get it in, right in its neck, where it sort of its fat head turns into its shoulders, and yeah, just it's sort of bleeding out of that, and it's not looking too happy.
Oh wait, no, I rolled the wrong number. I actually rolled. Oh wait, did I tell you 11?
You told me 14.
14. Sorry, I just automatically added my bow damage, so I rolled 11.
Okay, so it gets
Which I was gonna say.
it gets 3 more hit points. Okay.
So I'll roll my attack. So.
Oh, 11
to
total to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So but now I roll the 7 + 7 is 14.
Okay, yep.
So,
So we'll say the damage
This
stands.
stays the same. Okay, I'm
Yep.
just down to luck. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll do my second attack. Same thing.
Yep.
12?
12 just hits.
Okay, cool. And so I get Colossus Slayer this time. And it's the same as everything else. 6, 10. A lot of damage. 10,
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
20.
Elrine, as your blade's stuck in its neck, you take and you twist it, and just there's a gout of blood that comes out. This thing sort of wiggles and then goes limp.
Cool.
And boom,
Beastmaster. Alright.
Beastmaster.
And then I'll run up towards here, I guess.
Okay. All right.
And-
Okay. Elrine. Okay. Elfbane brothers, make me a perception check.
Do I get a?
Oh no.
Where's my perception? Oh, whoops.
No crap. Bonner, do we have one for you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
you
did.
You did have. Okay, Bonner, you are fortunate. You do see this guy coming, because you just got out of the water and you sort of look behind you as another crocodile bursts and makes an attack at you.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, it does not have advantage because you didn't surprise it, as well as I'm going to say it's going for you, Bonner, because it saw you in the water and sort of making a beeline to try and grab you.
Makes sense to me.
But a 13 ain't going to do it. Alright, so it goes and tries to clomp onto your midsection, but it just sort of scrapes off the metal of your armor.
Oh man.
Okay, but it is right there, and it is snapping. Alright, and Sildar is going to try and escape, and totally does. So he gets out of the water elemental's grasp, and that's all he does for his turn. Actually, you know what? Sildar's going to action surge, and he's going to attack twice.
Hey, you taking my bit, Sildar?
He's a fighter, man. He's a fighter.
Man.
Alright, and so he hits twice. And let's see, he does 15 points of damage total. Okay, so he just sort of gets some grip on the ground with an arm, pulls himself out of the water, rolls up, and slash with his longsword into the water elemental.
Cool. He should have advantage, I assume, I'm guessing. Not if that matters.
Yeah, he hit anyway, but yeah, that would make sense. He does. And then life as a DM is fun.
Salazar, no.
You're kind of expecting this one by now. But Elrine, with a pitter patter of you making bashing on the walkway there, this one is going to rush at you and make a bite. 22 hits. You take 5 points of piercing damage as another crocodile clomps onto you from this side. And it sort of uses movement to get there, so it's doesn't have enough to wrestle you into the water quite yet. Alright. Now the remaining water elemental does not get his whelm ability back. But what's he gonna do? Going to move right here, provoking an opportunity attack from Sildar, which he hits with. But doesn't do much. That's 5 points of damage.
He does.
And then it's going to make 2 slam attacks against, let's see, both against Bonner, because it's currently sort of occupied with the crocodile, and it's going to have advantage on those. The first one hits for 13 damage, reduced by 3 because of your heavy armor.
Am I able to parry that?
You absolutely are.
Cool. Parry. There you are.
Sorry, Mr. Platypus.
Garbage.
Okay. So you reduce it by an additional 3 down to 7. The second attack also hits for 12 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced by 3 to 9. So you take a total of 7 plus 9 is 16. As this thing just whoosh, whoosh, sort of pseudopods of water whoosh out and smack into you. Alright. And that's that thing's turn. And our final friend is going to rush up and make an attack against...
How do we know it's the final?
I had 5 crocodiles. Alright, and after the water elementals sort of attack, they know, hey, that means food, and they came in.
Just watch out, the anaconda's next.
Alright, and Thonar, that is going to be a 21 to hit.
Huh.
I believe that hits you.
Yeah.
Actually, this crocodile will be right there. It'll bite into you, grabbing a leg. It sort of doesn't really get a good bite. You take 5 points of damage, reduced to, it would be rounded down, so 2 because you're raging.
Yeah, I'm mad, bro.
And he cannot yet pull you into the water. Alright, and we are at the top of the initiative. Selena, this crocodile will pull you further into the water and chomp down on you again. Come on, interface. An 18 is going to hit. You take 6 points of piercing damage as this thing sort of grabs onto you and thrashes in the water.
7.
6. Alright, so that's that crocodile's turn. Salazar, you were in the middle of trouble. What would you like to do?
Healing potion as a bonus action.
Okay. And yes, you do have 1 level of exhaustion now. Thank you for putting that on there. Alright, so you heal 6 points.
And then, do you suppose water's gonna hurt this, guys? I mean fire, because I'm gonna try and steam it a little bit.
Certainly try.
I could pour 2 key points into it, right?
And,
'Cause I'm level 5.
yes. You can
Not
cast it as a level 2, so it gets an extra d6 burning hands, right?
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually attack with the staff first, and then I'm gonna use the sweeping cinder strike as a second attack. Can I do
That's
that?
not how it works. Sweeping Cinder attack, you're casting a spell that's a full action.
Okay.
So if you make an attack, you have 2 attacks as part of that attack action, or you can cast the 1 Sweeping Cinder Strike.
So I burn my bonus action.
Yes.
So I can't make an unarmed strike, but if I do a flurry of blows, I can make 3 attacks.
No. That you used. The way Flurry of Blows works is if you do Flurry of Blows, you use your bonus action to make 2 unarmed strikes.
I see.
You use your bonus action to chug up another potion. So you can either do 2 weapon attacks or 1 Sweeping Cinder Strike.
I'm gonna do that. So at the
Sweeping
second
Cinder. Okay. So go ahead and roll the damage on that. It's got to make a Dexterity saving throw or 3d6. So let's see how well Water Elemental is or good it is at dodging fire in its face.
Plus what?
Roll an additional d6. Yeah, that thing fails.
So not even worthy.
Okay, so that does 11 points of fire damage as you just whoosh into the middle of this thing. Right. So that brings it down to that. It's starting to look a bit rough. It's sort of definitely that sort of steamed off some of its water. It sort of blasted a fiery hole through the middle, and then it's sort of the water formed back around that. So there's a gout of steam that comes out the back of it, past Sildar there. Alright, so that's your bonus action and action. Would you like to move?
No, because I want to get an attack of opportunity.
That it would. Okay. Thonar, it is your turn. You currently have a crocodile biting at you from behind, your brother's engaged with the one on your right, and a water elemental on your left.
I'm gonna take a swing at the water elemental,
Okay.
and I'm gonna be reckless about it.
Oh, snap. So technically that... Okay, yeah, that crocodile should have had advantage on you, but I don't think it would have mattered. Oh yeah, it already hit you. Alright, so that's, 24 will hit, so you do 11 to it.
13.
Oh, 13, yes. Okay. That's your first strike. You just sort of wallop and smash a whole bunch of water spatters across the walkway.
Still alive?
It's still kicking
Alright,
and splashing.
I will swing again at it.
And you crit.
Yay.
So that'll be 25 points of damage. Oh, nice.
What was that on?
2 crits or 3 crits that you've had so far?
I think that's his second.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So, it's not a death blow, but do you want to describe how you crit this thing? What kind of mighty blow you make against it?
Was it the crocodile or the water mouse?
It was the water elemental.
Water. Am I still, is my leg in this crocodile's mouth?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I'm actually, I have my hammer in both hands and I'm just gonna go behind me because I'm still, like, looking at this crocodile, so I'm just gonna, like not even paying attention, I'm just gonna wham it back behind me as hard as I can
Now-
and see if I hit anything.
Now, are you trying to hit it behind you, or are you swinging it back to hit the crocodile in front of you and accidentally?
Exactly. I'm about to hit the crocodile, but I end up hitting the.
All right.
the water.
Yes. On the backswing, there's this kaploosh, like a giant cannonball, as your hammer just smashes into the pseudo head of this water elemental, and it does not like it. All right. Selena, you are currently dragged into the mucky swamp water and being thrashed by this crocodile.
Alright. Question: do I have to be able to talk to animals to intimidate it to let me go?
I would say no, but you're going to be at disadvantage because, well, actually, no, not at disadvantage because it doesn't speak your language, but you could certainly yell at it.
Alright. Would that be in my action or?
Yeah, I'd say that's your action if you're trying to fully No, I'd say that's your bonus action. You want to intimidate this thing.
Okay, can I intimidate it and then try to attack it if it doesn't?
Sure.
Alright.
I'll say if you succeed on the intimidation, it's sort of stunned for a moment. You'll have advantage on your attack.
Right. Let's go.
You just scream at this thing, this nasty. Even though you're a woman and you're this fair elf, it's almost guttural, like ah. And this thing sort of stops thrashing for a moment, and that's all the second you need to take and make a jab into this thing.
Alright.
Make an attack with advantage.
Alright.
And because you have advantage, you'll have sneak attack.
Okay.
In your weapons, either one of your magical things. I'm going to say you do it with your swift dagger.
Okay.
Yeah, you get that thing, and you take it and you plunge it right in the middle of its skull, right into its brain, and twist it, and this thing just goes completely limp. In doing so, you sort of feel this surge of energy, because you felled a creature, brought it to 0 hit points. The swift dagger gives you an additional action.
Oh,
So-
nice.
You may use your movement and take another action if you'd like. Keep in mind you are in the water. It is difficult terrain, so to swim back to the walkway is going to be 10, 20, 30. I'd say if you used your 35 movement, you'd just barely get to the edge and get onto the walkway. Right here if you want.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, go. Alright, so you end up right there. That's your movement. Use your bonus action to shout. What would you want to do with your second action that the keen dagger has given, or the swift dagger has given you?
I try to shoot an arrow at that dude.
Okay, that crocodile. Go ahead and make an attack. You take that arrow and you plunge right through one of the eyes of the crocodile. Gone.
Awesome.
Alright, that is the end of your turn. And that crocodile's dead, so Cathod.
Alright, I'm gonna use the last charge of magic missiles on the crystal and hit that water elemental.
You had 2 things of magic missile. One is a level 2, one is a level 1. You've used both.
Oh, I wrote down I had 2 level 1 and then 1 level 2.
I thought you did 1 level 1 detect magic. Or was that previously?
I did a detect magic, yeah. So I had used a level 2 spell slot. I can't do that for my level 2 magic missile as one of my charges.
That essentially you cast the spells into it. So you cast... How many spells did you put in there?
4.
4. Okay. And one of them was a level 2 magic missile.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get it now. Yeah, you've got 1 more
Okay.
in there.
Alright. Sorry, I should have
I
clarified
misunderstood. So what would you like to hit with your magic
that
missile?
better. All 3 at the water elemental.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
7 plus 2 is 9. Okay. So you put them, all 3 of these things in, the arcane missiles fly and sizzle and crack inside of the water elemental, and it's just sort of heaving and sort of bubbling and not really holding itself together, but it's still animated.
Okay, I'm gonna use my twinned magic.
It doesn't work for magic missile,
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
because that can target multiple creatures. You could quicken a spell if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll quicken. Yeah. So 2 sorcery points. And I'll use magic missile again.
Okay. And now, here's something that I'm house ruling, that according to the rules as written, you can only cast a spell, and then if you cast another spell in the same turn, it has to be a cantrip. I'm gonna say you can do up to, you can do level 2 spells on the same turn, but you wouldn't be able to do 2 level 3s. You could do a level 3 and a level 2 or a 1, but just for future reference, it's not affecting this here.
Okay.
But, yep. So you cast another magic missile. Alright, and that one goes, and again, sort of this first wave of magic missiles goes in and sort of sizzles this thing and sort of heaving, and then you throw 3 more in there, and this thing blows to bits and just sinks into the water, just becoming mundane water again.
Okay. Yep. And I'll pass my turn.
Okay, and that's the end of your turn. Bonner, you're up. But, a water elemental and a crocodile have both expired near you. Your brother's currently grabbed by one. Elrine is currently grabbed by one. They seem to be the only things left.
Okay. I run down here and take us. Yeah, okay, so first I'll take a. I'll just take 2 swings with Blood Step.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna try to do something fancy, but I will.
Okay, the first one that actually, yeah, both of those hit.
Oh, damn.
Your first one sort of hits it right in the neck, and almost like it cuts pretty deep into its neck, almost severing the head, but it's still sort of just like barely alive. You did 18 points of damage, has 19 health. Your second one, you just lop the rest of its head right off.
All right.
Okay.
Crikey, that was a close one.
Alright. And Elrine, you currently have a crocodile grabbing onto your leg, trying to pull you off the other side.
I feel the blood of the crocodile seep into Bloodstep's thirsty
That
blade.
you do.
I'll do the same thing that I did the last time. So move the old hunter's mark over
Mm-hmm.
and Use sword.
Alright, which I keep forgetting. I should have had you be rolling concentration checks for the bites that the crocs did, but
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Okay. 23.
That'll hit.
Yeah, okay. Where are D6s? Uh, 6 plus 4 plus 2, 12.
Well, okay. So you stab this thing pretty good. That it's sort of going onto your leg. You actually shove it into its mouth and like get some of the back of its throat. And its grip on you sort of loosens for a moment before it sort of shakes. And you pull the blade out and it clamps down on your leg again. That's your first attack.
Cool. Yeah, second one is a 1.
It's a 1. You go to stab it in, but you sort of nick your leg and sort of like recoil on that, and you don't want to slice your leg any further. You don't take any damage, but it does bleed a little.
Alright.
Alright, that's your turn. Rocky's dead. Sildar is going to run up, jump into the water, and bring his sword down on this thing. That actually, let's see. That'll hit, yep. And yeah, he ends this thing. He just sort of jumps up and brings his blade straight down into the middle of the crocodile and twists it, and it sort of shakes and expires.
I thank him.
And you sort of pull your leg out of its mouth, and it's sort of he gets back up onto the walkways, waist down, covered in muck, as well as you, Bonner, would be, as well as Selena. You are, pretty much covered in swamp slime. There currently doesn't seem to be anything else in the water moving, but you guys are keeping a very vigilant look on the water.
I'm gonna say, hey, the guys, that was pretty fun.
I hate you.
As I have taken 0 damage and killed 2 things.
I'm pretty sure that I hate you was Salazar in character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both.
But both.
Alright. And having completed that fight, I think that's where we'll call it a night.
Alright.
We went a little late, and you guys took a bit more time trying to barter jewels than I was anticipating, but
Towards the end,
That
I was
works.
like,
Dump our
I've been
inventory.
shopping for an hour and a half.
Yeah. That was fun though.
alright. We've got that. And I did the math. Everybody.
I think we need to try to skin these gators. Make us some.
Yeah.
Make us a set of
The boots.
matching
crocodiles.
gator skin or matching croc skin boots for everybody.
Alright. Everybody gets 700 experience.
Nice.
Not bad. Not bad.
I was very seriously debating on that last attack there instead of just killing that thing, which ended up being working out. But I have 2 grappling hooks. I wanted to take them and jump on its back
And try to
and
ride
grapple it because I have with the Tavern Brawler. When you attack with an improvised weapon, you can use a bonus action to grapple a creature.
Nice. Alright.
Just for, because I'll forget next time we start. I'll use level 2 cure wounds on Salazar.
Okay, go for it. So I think that's, was it 2d8 plus your wisdom modifier?
Yeah. Can I use luck on these? How does luck
No,
work?
luck's only for
No.
d20 rolls.
Okay, yep. So 12.
12 hit points to Salazar. Friend Elvine pats you on the back and is like, say whatever you want to say, and you feel the energy sort of heal those nasty water elemental bruises for 12 damage. For 12 hit points. You're up, what, to 26? there, Salazar?
I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh.
catch that.
Elrine healed you for, was it
12.
12 points, 12 hit points.
Sucks. I rolled a 1 on one of the d8s. Just bad.
Thank you, sir.
Alright. So, fun times that, yeah.
We did it.
Did it. You survived my swamp puzzle.
Yeah.
Yay!
So guys, we could go around the swamp and hunt for more crocodiles to grind, so we can get up to level 6 before we get to anything else.
Who knows what other things you might encounter in the swamp.
It'll only
head
take
back-
4,552.
We head back to Leyland and then come back the next day to see if the crocodiles have spawned once
respawned.
again.
Well, it wasn't really the crocs that gave you the experience. It was mostly the malicious swamp water elementals.
That makes sense.
Those guys are pretty tough. Like,
I found out the hard way.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
bag of
over
hit
and over
points,
and over
they can
again.
really disable a group.
as soon as you're like, yeah, I'm gonna move, I was like, oh, and there goes Salazar.
I would like to try and actually skin the crocodiles to get crocodile pelts and maybe some croc teeth.
Okay.
I'll help him if I can.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say that Elrine's gonna be more skilled at this, so I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Bonart, you're mechanically that you're assisting him, so
Yeah,
Elrine
I'll say,
gets
hey,
advantage.
Ryan, we should get some of these crocodile skins. They'd probably be worth something to somebody. I mean,
Okay.
and maybe some teeth.
Yeah, I could use some teeth for my beard.
Alright.
Alright, so let me just a
set-
second. Let me set a DC in my head. That I want. This will be okay. This will be yep. Got it in my head. So, that there are 5 crocodiles. You can make 5 survival checks with advantage.
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
Okay, that on 2 of these crocs that you're not able to really sort of salvage. There's too much damage from them, and so it sort of gets
Probably the
wasted.
one
You
I
get a
cut his
few
head off.
teeth from them. Yeah, that one you don't get much. I'd say you can probably get like 5 teeth from that are not chipped or broken, or you're able to get out without breaking the entire jaw off. But on 2 of the other ones, you're actually able to skin pretty well, and you get the 2 crocodile skins. And then one of them, you're like, this is the last one you go for. This is the least damaged one, and you're just sort of in the zone, and it goes like clockwork. Yeah, you get a, let's say, put it in your inventory, pristine croc skin.
Nice.
I'm gonna say you have about maybe 20. Well, not now. That's a huge number. Let's say 17 crocodile teeth.
Are you guys hanging on to these? Or...
I'd like to
Sure.
request 2 for my beard.
Alright.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it was common sense. Of course, why wouldn't you put it in your beard?
Of course.
Well, that's totally what Hunter does. He puts his
Daniel, did you want to write those down, or do you want me to?
I mean, I was just kind of helping you, so yeah.
Okay.
You can...
How many teeth did we get? Did you say 17? And
17.
then Nate
so
took 2, so I'll
you have
put
15.
15.
15 croc teeth.
Do we have any inclination as to why, like, how these elementals are, like, taking form? Is it just, like, a natural, like, magical occurrence?
Or it's like
elementals-
elementals can either be they exist in the plane of water naturally, or
Okay.
they can be created in the material world through magic. And so, given
Okay.
that these ones were made of and comprised of swamp water, you get a sense that they were probably created by some sort of magic here in forever, out of the
Magic,
swamp
magic,
water.
magic,
Cool.
Do
Alright.
we see the spawn point?
magic.
Can we camp it?
If you want to stay here and wait for other things, potentially nastier things, to show up, be my
Yeah.
guest. You currently have 5 crocodile carcasses out in the open, with blood all in the water.
We'll find out next week.
Yeah.
We will.
The
Alright, so
DM's like, Satan appeared. You all die.
there's a joke that as a DM, if you don't know what you do, just start rolling dice, frown, consult a couple charts, and say, "Sorry guys, but Tiamat descends from the sky."
Yeah.
Alright. So fun times. You guys are headed to Waterdeep. Who
Woohoo.
knows what joyous fun you will find there. And then you have a mission to launch out from there.
I heard there's some deep water down there.
Yeah. Sildar with a mission to the Obari Monastery.
For those of you who don't know, that is our home city.
Yeah.
The Elfbane hometown.
Which one?
Waterdeep.
Dwarf Brothers.
Waterdeep.
Waterdeep? Oh, okay. I've played a game, Lords of Waterdeep.
We are the Lords of Waterdeep.
Based off
No, we're
of
not.
the lore that sort of the main storylines that they knit together for 5th edition happen
I'm
in
out,
that world.
folks.
Yep.
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
Alright.
Me too.
Yeah, same here.
Alright, everyone, it's been great fun. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good night.
Alright, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you
User
guys.
disconnected from your channel.
Later.
User disconnected from your channel. User disconnected from your channel.